Now, I am not the one who usually does this, so I do not have something smart to say like Stephen would, because I don't know if you know, Stephen is an author, and he is the author of the Fandom Menace volumes. Stephen, why don't you say hello?
Hi, everybody. Today, we're on Sporking News Podcast because we want to see just how incompetent he is at live streaming.
And that is true. This is my very first live stream, and I had to waste it on the fourth wave.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Are you going down, alert. Dude? What is going on? Are you going down?
There's a firehouse right next to my house. Sorry.
Oh, is it really? That is fantastic.
I
Tyler,
haven't heard one of those since I was a kid, man.
I know, right? I thought you were
in
just
Indiana,
trying to
when one of those went off, that meant get yourself under an underpass or a shelter. That meant a tornado was coming.
Yeah, see, we have that like once every blue moon where I am, and no one ever listens to it because we rarely. I think we have a tornado every 4 years. But yeah, let's just get on this real quick, Bear. I'm sorry. This is the fourth wave. We are here to defend the fandom and talk about topics of the week. This week we had some crazy ones, like a script we found out about, which Bear was nice enough to let us all know about on the fourth wave. So, Bear, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Bear at Bear Nerd Fun. No need to call me 3 Bear or Bear. Just call me Bear, because that's actually my name. Yeah, there's some things going on. Matt McGlowan, he broke an article, and Robert Monette had done a YouTube video about all this, and I'm pretty sure that Matt McGlowan has cited him as the person that was doing the information. I guess Robert Burnett, he did a really in-depth video about all this. There's a part 1 and a part 2. I found on Reddit, on Star Wars Leaks. That's the name of the Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a part 2 and a part 1, and there was something else I also found as well.
Well, we're going to
go over that here in a minute, but the main thing that I found was the part 1, the part 2, if I get them organized right. All right, part 2, and then there's part 1 right there. All right. This is by Lawler Frawl. Man, that's a tongue twister.
Whoa, who's that from again?
Reddit user Lawler Frawl. Yeah, try saying that 3 times real fast.
Yeah, right.
It's like, okay, folks, I'm going in for round 2. Okay, I could have swore there was a round 1 there. Let me go back and look and see.
Olafrol sounds like a
while you're doing that,
fantasy.
Yeah, right. Let's say hi to our 5 people in the chat.
Hail to the 5 people in the chat.
Yes, sir. Well, we got Gary from Nerdrotic at the gym, actually doing some workout. What are you on, the treadmill? Does he
doing some cardio?
Or is it just like cardio?
I can imagine Gary's on the treadmill with like rubber bands in his beard, like Captain Lou Albano back in the day.
Oh my God, yeah, you Cyndi Lauper just screaming in the background. Yeah,
the whole 9 yards.
I more see him on like an elliptical. It's easier on the knees.
Yeah.
We got Chris Persia in the chat. Thank you, Chris. And we have the fourth wave. What will we call him? Our mascot? Tyler Mango.
What is up, brother?
Mash the McClunky. Yes, please. Yes. This is my first time. If you're new to my channel, the first time I've ever done a live stream. So you're going to find me fumbling around trying to be a moderator and also use the special tools of StreamYard like this. Smash the McClunky button. That's exciting. I know.
Don't lie. Bear just taught that to you 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, he just taught me. It is the God honest truth. So Bear has been looking through. Bear dives into the web for us. Okay. Bear is our researcher. I like to say the soul of the fourth wave. Mm-hmm. He is the one that keeps the glue together unless he's trying to destroy us all from within. But he never does. So Bear, what are we going to start with tonight?
Yeah, I got those mysterious things and all those powers and all that stuff, and I use it for good.
That's what you keep telling us.
I am why don't I'm gonna get this. I believe I put the Colin Trevorrow article in the private chat. Stephen, can you pull that up?
That's not me.
Would that be me then?
That would be you. It's your turn.
I don't even know where to go. Hold on, people.
Farty
This is
away.
embarrassing. Yeah, let's
Hey,
get Gary in the freaking chat and have me
I'm
run
not
this
too
thing.
far behind you. I'm 48.
All right.
But I still
Actually,
look 38.
I turn. How do I get to the private chat, man? Usually that shit just pops up for me. I don't see it nowhere, man. I'm losing my shit.
Make
sure you're on the command center.
I just saw it. Okay, so what
I know you're hamming it up, right?
Yeah, I am hamming it up because I'm trying to save some time here.
Hey, it takes 2 hams to know one, right?
Yeah, right. So am I just copy and pasting this and opening it up? Is that what we're saying here?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
did I tell you
Gary,
before my computer will crap on me? But all right, let's do this.
Gary, don't say you're old. I'm not that far behind you, brother.
Yeah, I'm 48.
You're the new 20. You're the new 30. How about that? Gary's the new 30.
It is. Okay, right now I got Crisis. Are we going to Crisis first? No, we're not, right?
No,
I actually turn 44 next week.
It's the second one down. It's the Trevorrow script leak.
Gotcha, brother. All right, we are smooth. Wow, I didn't know how much you put into this, Steven. I got to stop talking shit behind your back. All right, let's see what we got. I think I opened Christ. Oh, there we go. All right, so now I just share the screen, people.
You share it.
Yep.
I share it.
Don't worry about sharing sound because there is no sound.
Awesome.
Don't confuse him, Bear.
Yeah, Bear, you're fucking me all up.
This is a learning experience.
It really is.
ABC
I am sharing this. Look at this.
Smash the McClunky.
Smash the McClunky. Now, do you people see this?
Yeah, I see it.
I see it. So they must see it.
I see that.
I don't see them seeing it.
That incredible
face,
pasty face nose right there. Where's the scar? Didn't he have a scar?
What's up, brother? I think he did. It's popping up now. All right.
Okay.
Let's take a look at this now that I can finally read it. You want me to read it, or you want to read it, Bear? You have that great reading voice.
That deep.
Okay, you twist my arm. Details from script for Colin Trevorrow. Versions of Star Wars Episode 9 have leaked online, which include the title said to be Duel of Fates. Prior to J.J. Abrams directing Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, otherwise known as what we call her as KK, had Colin Trevorrow known for Jurassic World movies, directing Episode 9, but things went sour and Trevorrow was removed from the movie. A Redditor put together the following details, which actually do sound pretty cool. What could have been, I suppose. Update. The original source of the script leak is on YouTube from writer, producer, director Robert Meyer Burnett. Star Wars Episode 9, Duel of Fates details.
Hail Burnett.
Hail.
Carol Burnett. Never mind.
The iron grip of
one
the
of you
First
guys might
Order
have to do this because it is freezing up.
Spread to the farthest reaches of.
It's all right. Take it down. Let Bear read it. I'll bring it up. Good.
Only as scattered planets remain unoccupied. Traitorous acts are punishable by death, determined to suffocate a growing unrest. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has silenced all communication between neighboring systems. Led by General Leo Organa, the Resistance has planned a secret mission to prevent their annihilation and forge a path to freedom. Opens at, I guess you pronounce this word quat.
Quat?
Yes, quat shipyards.
Kumquat?
Kumquat?
Yeah, and believe it or not, kumquats are very, very yummy. I used to eat them when I lived in California.
I'm not eating it.
Yeah, they're in the orange family, basically, but yeah, that's probably where they got that word.
Now, if you know what, if people call balls tangerines, I wouldn't eat tangerines. I'm not eating a kumquat.
Hey, they're like oranges. They're very yummy. You eat the skin and all, man. Good stuff. My Sacramento, my uncle, short story, Sacramento, my uncle had one in the corner of the backyard. Cousin would go out there, eat all the kumquats, and man, we got in trouble. Okay, BB-8 and Rostico, allegedly, a key character in script are infiltrating Quat. Moon, where First Order built their ships, workers are oppressed. There is an orbital ring. There is a orbital ring that makes more sense. And moon below it. Finn and Poe are there. No R2, 3PO. Rey arrives. The plan, send explosives to the power shaft that delivers raw ore into the ring.
The shaft.
Yeah, the shaft.
Kumquats. Yeah.
Yeah. Plan goes wrong. RBM loves dialogue at this moment. The First Order is able to contain blast. Admiral Vaughn says resistance tactics are pitiful. Rey, disguised as a Tusken Raider, is revealed to have created her own weapon, a double-blade lightsaber hybrid of her staff and Luke's cracked saber.
Okay, so let's take a freeze it right there for a second. So right off the rip, this is already sounding like a better movie. You have them infiltrating a rebel base, or excuse me, a First Order. Yeah, they're infiltrating a First Order base. You know, you have Rose Tico sounding battle worn. You know, she's actually been hardened by what they've gone through in the last. Now, did they say how long in between Last Jedi and this was? Because I know this last movie was only a year. Is this jumping to the 3-year mark, or is it still just the year? Does it say anything about that?
Oh, not in this article.
Not in this article.
I read this article the other day, and nothing like that jumped out at me. We will see.
Okay.
You know, ADHD. You know, nothing sticks unless I read it like 100 times.
So, well, they read the part about her making the weapon again, please, because I just have to hear that.
Rey, disguised as Tusken Raider, is revealed to have created her own weapon, a double-bladed lightsaber hybrid of her staff and Luke's cracked saber.
So she takes her staff and Luke's cracked saber and turns that into a lightsaber.
Remember the rumors of her having a staff lightsaber?
Yeah.
That would have been kind of cool.
It would have been cool to see, but how would that have been? Like, you technically do that? I mean, where would you house so it would actually have to have the kyber crystal in the old lightsaber, the Luke lightsaber with it like attached to the bottom and top. Like, how does that even work?
No, you would need 2 kyber crystals. For a double-bladed, you need 2 kyber crystals.
Right.
I mean, for the way that I remember them being set up.
That's what I thought too. So you can't form one from one kyber crystal.
I don't think so, because I mean, like, I'm only going from video games and what I've read, but I think there's different parts to it, and you would need a crystal near the lens at the top of each end. You would need 2 crystals, unless you put it in the middle somehow. I don't.
Well, I know that in saber lore that some sabers had an extra button to flip, and their saber became like 6 or 7 inches more longer, and it was for stabbing motions.
Okay.
And, I believe that was in EU lore, in some of the books where they describe some of the lightsabers and what they could do.
Because I mean, we've talked about this a long time ago. We all agree that if she was going to have a lightsaber, we would have assumed it would have been a double-sided lightsaber. We assumed she would have used something that she's comfortable with, not just, a single or 2-handed lightsaber. She would have had something that was like her staff, something that she was a master of in the first movie. I mean, she was. I mean, they made her that way, but she was a master of that lightsaber. So, I mean, that staff. So you would think they would have done this. And I was kind of shocked when we didn't see that in this movie, except for that vision. What do you think, Stephen?
You brought up that vision, and I think that was the hottest scene of Rey in the entire series. Dark Side Rey. Oh my God.
Right.
I think, it would have been a staff, because there's so many things. I don't even think they understood what they were doing the whole time. In the first film, for instance, you had that kind of built up idea that there was going to be a romance between the two. It never happened. She was using a staff, so that kind of insinuated that she was going to have a double-bladed lightsaber. It seems like every step of the way through this, Rian Johnson fucked this up. They should have had one person. Everybody said this 1,000 times. I'm sorry to keep repeating it. They should have had an outline for all 3. They should have an outline for all 3, maybe story treatments. And they then had, at least if they were going to change directors, they would have been following the same kind of story, the same treatment. So I think the disconnectivity between all three of these films really just botched everything that they had built up in The Force Awakens. Look, I didn't like a lot of things in The Force Awakens, but at least they could have gone somewhere from that. I wish they hadn't killed Han. That was my biggest gripe, without getting everybody back together again, and then.
Well, also killing him just like as he was a fool.
Yeah.
He was a fool. He allowed himself to get murdered.
You have all these people. All right, look, I'm not an EU expert. I've read like the Thrawn trilogy, and I read the Yuuzhan Vong series, so I mean, I've read some of it, and you always knew that romance between Han and Leia, that lived on for a long time. That they were together. Chewie dies before anybody, and they took that, they threw it away, and they didn't give us anything. They didn't give us anything, any connecting tissue. Like, I wasn't looking for a complete reproduction of the expanded universe or Legends, but I was looking for something that was familiar, that would have been familiar to us.
Well, this story group, like you see Gary saying, the story group is to blame with KK. I mean, who hired them, though? I mean, KK is the one who put everybody in charge of this. Okay, she had final say on everything. This story group, though, they were either yes men and just went along with it to save their jobs. I think we've talked about this before. Or they're people who did not know the lore. They did not know the lore, or they didn't respect it.
I wrote, I might not have mentioned this before, but I wrote this book. And in this book, I wrote a book.
Okay.
And in this book, there was actually a list of all the qualifications of everyone in that story group. And if you give me a moment, and my computer is nice, I can bring up and show you in 2012 to 2014, the people that were hired to create these movies. Just give me a moment, and somebody else bullshit.
We had Screen Doctor on with us, and prior to that, we also Screen Doctor was on with you with Midnight Edge, and he did discuss what happens with scripts. The people that are coming out of and I'm sorry to go there, people, the liberal colleges taught by all these liberal professors about liberal ideas and this woke agenda that they have are the people that are writing these scripts. Okay, so they're the ones feeding into this beast, and KK loves these people. Okay, so no wonder she hired anyone that followed the JJ, the Rian Johnson, anyone who's going to follow that mold. She put into this. They hired with their own type of person. I mean, I don't know if you agree with that, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, I think they're all using the same key phrases and same keywords. There's this book I wrote that kind of goes through all that. And and in there, it pretty much describes how you had these certain radicals that wanted to take over their own party and push out the traditionalists. And Kennedy was one of those traditionalists.
I just added them. What's up, FinalDeathStar? Why don't you say hello?
Hello, everyone. I'll put my but oh well.
Whip it out.
Tommy's blocking me.
I'm getting us there, man. This is my first time. Leave me alone.
You're doing a great job so far. I've been watching from backstage, and I'm just really impressed.
I just want everyone to know
look at the private chat.
We started. Okay, I'm sorry, buddy. We did start early so that FinalDeathStar can get on before work. Who's late?
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
God!
Sorry, I'm working.
You said the L word on live. You L word.
What did I say? What's the L word?
The liberal. You said
liberal.
I thought you meant the other L word.
There's a lot of L words. There's a lot of L words.
We're probably only speaking to the four of us now.
I used the L word, the letter L, in one of my thumbnails. Between Rise of Skywalker, between Tross. So in other words, the L standing for losers.
I know. Losers.
What are your thoughts on this? Have you been listening for a little bit, buddy? You've been listening for a little while.
I just caught that Stephen wrote a book. I hear that's where I kind of jumped in the chat.
I did write.
When did this happen?
Why do we? I've been doing it for the last year. Nobody really knows about it. Nobody's been talking about it, but
no, not I.
Not at all.
No drama attached to that book.
Bring that up when you get a minute, Scott.
Yeah, hold on one second, buddy.
So you know how I heard we were talking about the leaks. Is that the JJ or not the JJ? What's his name?
Trevorrow. So they're saying that his script leaked. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, I know that they were going to go to Coruscant in it, which would have been, a logical place for them to finish the whole saga. That would have made sense going to Coruscant. Mm-hmm. I know that Luke was supposedly haunting kind of Kylo Ren, which would have made sense as well because we heard him freaking say in the last Jedi, see you around, kid, and then he never sees him again.
Right.
That was dropped, from JJ Jar Jar Abrams. Yeah. But I know there were a couple other things like Rose and Finn. I think they were together again, which I wasn't crazy about that choice. But, overall from the sound of it, it sounded like it had more potential than what we got.
All right.
I agree.
Whenever you're ready.
Go right ahead, sir. Yeah, we are ready. Go for it.
I'm just going to read a little. I'm going to preface this just a little bit, give you all a taste. All right. So one of Kennedy's first moves was to hire a new story group in order to reinforce her position and to facilitate her new approach to Star Wars branding and entertainments. She needed a group of talentless hacks and morons that would co-sign to her new company culture. She found people with no real background in space opera. I can hear myself reverberating. Who's doing that?
That was you doing it?
Is there anybody?
No, I muted, so it's probably the new guy.
Okay, I can still hear me, but oh well. And so one of Kennedy's new first moves was to hire a new story group in order to reinforce her position and facilitate her new approach to Star Wars branding and entertainment. She needed a group of talentless hacks and morons that would co-sign to her new company culture. She found people with no real background in space opera. They needed only a shared hypocritical, dogmatic, and biased socio-political extremism. They needed to coalesce to anything that they were told. What follows below is the known members and talent that sits at the table of Lucasfilm's creative heart. The most important characteristics seem to require that they were female. They needed to have a view of the traditional. They needed to have a view of the traditional and legacy fan base and a level of contempt that she deemed acceptable. And what could have been the next evolution of the Star Wars universe under the juggernaut of the Disney banner? A new chance to bring massive numbers from all over the world into the franchise. The IP was used instead as a tool for social change, agenda over content, ideology over character development, and socio-political propaganda overall. It's not just about casting female protagonists. It's got to be across the board throughout the industry. Kathleen Kennedy. Sexist hiring practices were apparently foundational tools at Disney Lucasfilm. So let's get familiar with the story group that intentionally destroyed Star Wars in favor of regressive segregationist ideologies. We'll start with the apparently talented. Bow your heads in sadness, no talent, no love, and no loyalty for Star Wars in this new group. The head of Lucasfilm Story Group in 2012 was Kiri Hart. Her writing credentials were one episode of Crossing Jordan in 2003, one episode of 1-800 Missing, also in 2003. She worked as a story editor on 7 episodes of Crossing Jordan in 2003. And in 2014, she earned a credit on a Phineas and Ferb Star Wars special. This was the person Kennedy decided was the best fit to inject identity politics into Star Wars, ideology over experience. That's all that was required. Hart was quoted as saying her first move was to make the story group entirely female, starting with Rain Roberts and Carrie Beck. Sexist hiring practices is apparently a foundational tool at Disney Lucasfilm. Agenda over content, ideology over character development, and socio-political propaganda that rules overall. Rain Roberts' experience was as an assistant to someone on a movie called Life as We Know It. As an associate producer for a 2008 documentary called The Fair Trade. Yes, that's it. But she had a vagina, and that's all the experience she needed. Carrie Beck's only experience was as an executive producer for a made-for-TV movie called 2010 called Ghost Aliens. Yes, these are the people being hired to intentionally ruin Star Wars. How can anyone else see it? A myriad of talented, experienced people in the film industry, some of whom had to love Star Wars, but no agenda over content. Diana Williams, her experience was Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Kennedy could have chosen a street bum at random and garnered the same results. Leland Chee was a Star Wars game tester in 1998, already more qualified than the aforementioned lot. Chee also worked in Lucasfilm licensing in 2006. That's it. Pablo Hidalgo was an uncredited visual artist on 3 projects in 1999 and 2000. He played an uncredited extra on Revenge of the Sith in 2005. Pablo is also known for insulting traditional Star Wars fandom on Twitter. Mac Martin's experience was fuck all. Steve Blank's resume is vacant as well. Should we be wondering about the top-tier management decisions made at Disney Lucasfilm yet? James Waugh, again, no experience, but by this point, are we really surprised? Josh Rames, hold on to your seats, actually has some experience. He worked as a producer on BoJack Horseman and The Booth at the end of 2010 and 2014, as well as working on The Logger and production secretary for Curb Your Enthusiasm, a series called The Smiths in the 2000s. He also wrote one television episode of a show called Stranger Adventures in 2006. Stephen Fetter, again, no XP. He was a level 1 NPC. Carapado, nothing, nada, 0. If you just read through all that and still do not feel at all cheated, you might not be a fan. If the Force's female t-shirts didn't nail home the point that Kennedy had a direct and open agenda when it came to her plans for Star Wars franchise, then get ready to feel properly fucked. And then I go into a whole bunch of other stuff. So, boop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So sum it up, man. Sum up what you are trying to tell everybody there, because that was awesome.
What I'm trying to say is that it is an absolute certainty, without a fact, with all of the quotes that I have gathered from Kathleen Kennedy herself, all of the things that she has said over the years, that her agenda when hiring people to create Star Wars was simply an agenda of sexism. She hired people based, if not on their ideology, then almost what between their legs. And that's it. It did not matter if they had experience. They had to have the right mindset. They had to have the right buzzwords. They had to have the check mark on Twitter and say the right things. And they absolutely had to detest the traditional Star Wars fandom. She built this because, as she has stated, she did not want to cater to the traditional audience. And from her view, as a misandrist, she looked at the traditional audience as all men, which is definitely not true. There are plenty of women in the Star Wars fandom, always have been. Because this misandrist viewed, from her perspective, a fan base that was entirely men, oppressors to her mind, to her skewed vision, she put together a group of inexperienced hacks based solely on side sex and agenda, put them together throughout what we had loved for decades, and then had them produce blatherskite because they did not have the talent, the understanding, or the creativity to do anything but fuck all with Star Wars. Thank you very much.
Amen. Amen, brother. Oh my God. I love when you get angry. What do you have to say, Bear?
Wow.
Well, I am putting the Reddit pieces into a Word file because I've got both the beginning part and the continued part by Lullafrawl. So that way, if it gets removed somehow,
yeah, you got it, brother.
I'll have a hard copy.
And final, what do you have to say?
Stephen, could you just repeat all that, please?
I'm not inspired now. I'd have to go back and read my shit.
Is that going to be messy?
Oh, you are scrying in feces? No, not at all. If you wear rubber gloves.
Wow. I have to say, that is a clear indication that they're 100% agenda.
Absolutely. I mean, when any of you get a chance to read the Last Jedi, the Final Straw, when you get a chance to read that chapter, I set it all up for you. Here's all her quotes. Here's all the steps that it took from square one to here we are today, all the way to Ruin Johnson. This is what she was doing. She fucking said it. She wore the shirts. She made the quotes. She hired these people, these inexperienced hacks, and then put them in charge of the biggest and greatest IP of all fucking time.
What did she do to that IP? What did she do to that fucking IP?
Just eviscerated it. She destroyed it because of her own skewed vision. This is why the Fandom Menace needs to exist. Understand. We are fighting for our modern mythologies. We are the Centaurians at the gate. It is our job to hold these fuckers accountable for this bullshit they're trying to spew on us. This is about escapism. This is about taking your kids and enjoying films that you enjoyed as a child with your children. This is about passing something on. These are our modern mythologies. This would be like someone going back in the Greek era and changing all of the Greek stories, all of those mythologies, to just change the Greece from a democracy to a socialist society. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think Matthew says it best when he says she shat on it. She shat on it. I mean, it's despicable what she did. She sat there with the creator of this world, the creator of this mythology. She sat there and watched him talk about how important it was to him to keep the world together, to keep this so that future artists can actually do this and write about it and make movies. That's why he's selling it, so it will live on for the fans. And she sat there and watched him, and all she probably was thinking that whole time was tick tock, tick tock, because she went woke man watched on that ass. She watched that woke man. She woke man that watch. She did whatever she could to just blow that fucking IP up, man. That's what she did. She disrespected what George did for her. She disrespected the fans. She disrespected anyone who was a part of it. I mean, you look at Luke Skywalker. Let's just take one character, the character of the saga, in my mind. Yes, Anakin Skywalker was the one who the story was about from one. I mean, if you think about it, from 1 through 6, it was his fall from grace and his redemption.
Of Anakin Skywalker. That was the whole point of Lucas's stories: the fall and redemption of Anakin Skywalker, who doesn't even show up.
It's a Palpatine saga now.
Well, it is. It's Palpatine's one
from the gate. Episode 1, there is a Palpy. Yep. Episode 9, there's Palpy, and who beats Palpy but another Palpy?
Yeah,
yep, it's all about the Palpy.
Not the Skywalker saga.
It's all about the Palpy.
Not the Disney.
It's sad, man. It's sad what they did to this. It's sad that they decided, and I know we are getting some reverb on that. I hear that too now. It's sad that a story about fathers and sons, a story about relationships, was thrown out the window in this sequel. They took the basic premise of this story was about family, about a young boy who couldn't lose his mother. And once he did, he couldn't lose anybody else. And that was the beginning of the end for him. And then you get another young boy who loses everybody, but realizes he finds family in another group. He finds purpose in another group. And then what does he do? He finds his father and brings him back. I mean, it's a story about
if they wanted to change it to a female-centric story, could have been very easy. Leia Organa and Jaina Solo would have been easy. I mean, if Carrie Fisher still would have passed away, and if they had done it right, you would have had to kind of swap Luke in there. But I mean, they could have referred to Carrie, to Leia. That's all they needed to do, and it would have made everybody happy. Let's face it, fandoms are never everybody's happy.
You throw Mara Jade in there.
Right, bro, Mara.
Yeah. But remember, they don't have source material for this, so
no, they don't have 800-page novels. That's
they didn't.
No.
Hey, did you see that picture of John Boyega? And he's like got a copy of Heir to the Empire, and his whole, I don't know if it's a stage shot, but he's got like a bookshelf behind him, and it's like every Star Wars EU book I think you can imagine.
Tommy,
I don't know if that's real or if that's a stage shot. Yeah, someone posted it on Twitter.
Tommy, why are you trying to start shit, man? Why are you trying to start? Don't try and start nothing, all right? We're cool here. We don't make fun of people here. We don't have disrespectful attitudes to people.
What am I looking at right there?
What?
What am I?
You're looking at. You're looking at.
Hold on. Let me.
The end of the rainbows.
Oh, I dropped them. That was me. I was trying to highlight the man. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's the little box within the box, not the minus.
Hi, sorry guys. I'm gonna go back to what I was doing.
I'm Starlight now.
That shit up.
I'm Starlight now.
Awesome at this. Starlight. Oh, she's beautiful.
One of my future
ex-wives.
She's new to the club.
She is beautiful. Now, how do you feel about the boys?
She's probably the best character. She's probably the best character in that show because she's actually got a conscience compared to the other superheroes.
Right.
I look forward to seeing her evolution.
Yes, she has flaws. I mean, she was ready to throw it all away. You know, I mean, she was getting drunk. She put back on the sexy outfit. I mean, she is not a perfect character, but she's as close as you can get to perfect, but yet not be, I don't know, a Mary Sue.
Now listen, I love bitches. I'm not a misogynist. I love bitches. And I thought that them giving her the sexy outfit, I actually thought that was bad. I didn't want that.
Right.
That's not her character. I mean, I understand what they were saying in the story, and it did fit in the context of the story, but you know, she's innocence. She wanted to be a superhero from a place of innocence, you know, a real want to do good for others. So I love that character. I can't wait to see her evolution into the second season as she's began to see the wrongs in the world, especially after Aquaman. God, I love what they did to him.
Oh my God, what a loser. When that girl was going up his gills, oh man.
Yeah.
I loved it. I fucking loved it.
As a child watching the superheroes, Super Friends, you know, and looking at Aquaman and going, what? He's just talking to dolphins and shit. Like that part of me, that part of my childhood was very satisfied. How they made fun of him.
I mean, that's what you expected him to be, like going into the grocery store and talking to lobsters, like, I'm coming back, I'm gonna save your ass. And then they fucking stab the thing. I'm sorry. That was hilarious. I really enjoyed that show.
I'm sorry, Final. The rainbow dicks totally threw you off, man. That's not I'm sorry.
That got me so distracted there.
Well, let's get back to your rainbow dick story then. Final, what did you have to say about rainbow dicks? Final rainbow dicks, you no
rainbow dongs. It's rainbow dongs. You have to say it.
Rainbow dongs. Oh yes,
dongs. Yes.
Are we still the dongs have taken over, haven't they?
Respect the dong.
Since 3PO had that dong stream,
Rise of the Dong.
Yeah, the infamous dong stream. It's just been everywhere now.
Rise of the Dong.
Oh, don't forget about that 6-hour stream that we were on CjH Channel.
I knew it.
A lot of dongs.
Donging it up.
There was some donginitis going on for sure.
Dong 3PO.
Nice Dong 3PO.
House of Dongs.
Thanks a lot.
John Talks was on that channel with Ryan Kennel. Who else was on there? I can't remember who else was. I think it was. I can't remember who it was.
He was.
And they were reading his super chat. Nico Lightning started all that.
Steph was on there too.
Yeah, Steph. They were reading. They were reading the super chats because Jay is such a pure guy, drunk 3PO, that he won't say the D word.
The D word.
That is fantastic.
He's making money for like kids in other countries who don't have homes because just on the fact that he won't say dong and everybody's trying to get him to say dong. So hey, whatever works. I said whatever works, man. It's for charity. Dongs for charity.
I think John Talks was like, I wish someone would super chat me with saying just that. Easiest way to make a buck.
Look at John Talks is great. Like you think he just, it's like you watch his shows and he has a certain persona on his channel and everything. Like, I mean, he's funny, but he's just got that certain persona. And then you take him out of his element for a minute and just doing something like that. And it's comical. I love seeing that. Yeah. John is great.
He was the first guest we had on the Fourth Wave, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
We should have him back. We haven't had him on in a long time. We should have him back.
You guys missed it when his live stream got taken down for him showing the Golden Globes speech. Mm-hmm.
Really?
He came on the late edition Fourth Wave. You guys missed it.
Yeah,
and John gets around.
Yeah, John's a good guy. He supports everybody, just like Gary, just like
Tom.
Because
me and Tommy, we were hanging out in the yard, and, in the yard. And we do that often and just go around different chats and just do this and do that and just in general mayhem and fun.
Nice.
Who was everyone's biggest celebrity?
Linda Carter.
Yeah.
Linda Carter.
Just bringing that up.
Wow,
Linda Carter.
Wonder Woman, Linda Carter. Yep.
Linda Carter.
That was as growing up as a kid. That was Linda Carter.
Are we going kid? Are we talking kid?
Of all time or current?
That's
Basically a celebrity crush, and basically when I was a kid, Linda Carter, that was it, man. She was my female superhero.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Linda Carter, man.
No, not at all.
Mine was Winnie Cooper.
I'm about to say Kate Beckinsale just kills it for me.
Well, now, yeah, I get your Kate, but back in the day, it was Winnie Cooper.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we have to decide if it's all time or current.
Let's go past first, and then we'll go current. Okay,
I would go
my
with
first
all
was
time.
Also Winnie Cooper. She was
back in the
my
day,
first.
Alyssa Milano, because we grew up together. Basically, I used to watch Who's the Boss, and we were going through puberty together, and
Yeah, I gotta say, she was quite appealing in Charmed.
Oh, Charmed.
When it was
Charmed's a different world.
Well, she was the Hoey sister in Charmed.
Yeah, she was the best Hoey sister. You though, do you remember the Devil's jersey poster that Alyssa Milano did back in those days, Stephen?
No.
You talking about that vampire movie?
Yeah, I think she was wearing a New Jersey Devils a uniform, like away jersey in a poster. I'll never forget that one. Alyssa Milano.
I remember that one. Yeah. Samantha Fox. Samantha Fox.
Oh my God, Samantha Fox. I want to all night long.
She tittle bitties, man.
Yeah. Eggert,
you want to?
What's up?
Oh, Nicole Eggert. Yeah.
Yep. Nicole Eggert.
Yeah. Oh my God. When she did that movie with the Coreys, y'all see that? It was like softcore porn.
Yep.
Christina Ricci.
Katz.
Christina Ricci.
There it is, right there. Hold on. Let's add this. This is the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phoebe Katz. That's the one, man.
I'm allowed to be aroused by that because I was that age when that came out.
Same here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see her as
wasn't that the tail end of wasn't that the very, very tail end of Who's the Boss?
Yep.
Yeah, that was that was towards the end. You're right. Probably a couple years before the end, though.
Because she was an adolescent teenager toward the end of Who's the Boss.
Yeah,
You
went through puberty into teenage years in that show.
Yeah, Christina Ricci would play a pretty nice Catwoman.
Look, Christina Ricci's a Jersey girl. That's right across the river.
You gotta love her.
I love Jersey girls.
You know what I loved about her? She had her own niche, man. She did her thing. Like ever since she was a little kid, she played roles that were out of the box, and I liked her for that.
Well, Wednesday Addams, she was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't she in Casper too?
Yeah, she was in Casper.
Yes, actually, we just watched that the other night. My daughter and I. She loves that movie. Casper. Now you had Nicole Eggert. She was from Charles in Charge.
Yeah, she was bring up. Oh God, you know what? That's
let's get some pictures, people.
Damn, I need to add to my future ex-wife damn folder because I'm missing a few.
Yep, Stephen.
Yes, Linda Carter, indeed.
He agrees with you, Linda Carter.
Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox from
Cox. Oh,
Alex P. Keaton's girlfriend.
Courtney Cox was Alex P. Keaton's girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
She still look hard.
No.
Yep.
No, his girlfriend he married, didn't he? He married her in real life.
It was she played. What was her name in it? Jennifer, I think I want to say. No, not Jennifer. But it was she was in she was Alex P. Keaton's girlfriend.
Big one here. Find a big one here.
I will find it for you.
Yes, let's get pictures of
Oh no, I got no, can't show the ditties. Can't show nitties. Let me see.
It's my stream, I don't care. Oh no, we probably get
we can't show the nitties.
Here's all the nitties.
Yeah, you show nipples, you get shut down.
Oh, that's taken down.
Make sure there's no nitties on this page. Hold on, let me make sure no nitties. Okay.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly, absolutely.
Jennifer Connelly.
I mean, she's still
Mia
up there, man. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There we go. There she is.
Right.
There's Nicole.
There we go.
Oh, Nicole Eggert. How I love thee.
Oh man.
I loved her before Baywatch, man.
I chose a 30.
I was gonna say she played on Baywatch. I seem to recall that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank the God.
All right, take a look at that one when you get a chance there.
All right, what do we got? This is fun. We never go this route. Let's do this stuff.
Hey, we do this kind of stuff on the late edition, actually.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I did not know she was in that.
There they are together. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, she also played in.
Oh God, she's so unbelievably hot. That face.
This is like Dancing on the Ceiling. No, not Dancing on the Ceiling. What was that? Bruce Springsteen. She was in a
Dancing in the Dark.
Dancing in the Dark.
Yeah,
she was
the girl in that video too. That's how she got her start.
She did that. Ever watch Cocoon?
Watch what?
The what?
Cocoon. You ever watch Cocoon?
Oh yeah, Cocoon. Oh yeah.
She was in Cocoon too.
Oh, B. Arthur. B. Arthur was so hot.
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur.
My bad. I thought we were going a different route.
Got a Golden
Girls.
You guys remember the movie Airheads? They're talking about like
yes,
they take over the studio and they're coming up with a list of demands, and Judd Nelson's in it and he's reading the list. He's like, naked pictures of B. Arthur. Nice.
And a football helmet full of cottage cheese.
Yeah. That movie's so good.
Hold on, that's it. I'm looking up those lists of demands. Hold on. What's that movie called? Fuck, I forgot it. What was it?
Airhead.
Airhead.
Wasn't Pearl Jam in that?
Yeah. You know what? I think maybe a couple.
I know they were in. They were definitely in Reality Bites. Oh, that's another one I kind of.
Who was in that? Lemmy from Motorhead. Lemmy was in Airheads.
That's right. I was thinking maybe Reality Bites. I know that was what's her name is in that. She was also in Edward Scissorhands, and she's in Stranger Things as the mom now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's another Winona Ryder.
Winona. I mean, Beetlejuice. Yep. I won't say it a third time. I will not say it a third time.
That is a good idea not to say that a third time.
Yeah, because
it's like other things we don't say 3 times in front of a mirror.
Yeah. Who's Barbara Eden. Barbara Eden.
Oh, Barbara Eden. Yes, absolutely. Barbara Eden. God damn.
Bring that up.
I would even take on the bush, and I do not like a bush, but I would take on that bush.
Just get out your freaking like jungle hat, get your like machete, and go to town.
Man,
my friend.
I would fully respect the era and jump right in there and bounce off and jump back in. All right.
Yes, my friend.
We're going way back. Now we're talking before black and white era.
Stephen, first you're gonna have to invent a time machine. Yep.
When was she hot? You're going black
all
and white.
All through the 60s and the 70s and majority of the 80s and 90s.
60s, I guess, right? Wasn't it started in the 60s?
Yeah. It started as black and white, actually.
I think it did, yeah.
You brought up Samantha Fox, dude. That's a blast I haven't thought of since
a blast is the right word for it. That poster was on my wall. Oh God.
I mean, Christy Brinkley. And
Christy Brinkley,
early on,
Kathy Ireland. Kathy Ireland. You guys know who that is?
Oh, I know
the green eyes. Oh,
yes. She was the kicker in Necessary Roughness.
Yes, Necessary Roughness. One of my top 5 football movies of all times.
I love that movie. That movie's a great movie. Tia Carrere.
Yeah. Carrere. Yes.
I don't know if I ever really felt that one.
I did.
Tia Carrere?
Asian.
True Lies?
Never.
Sandra?
What name, Tommy? What name is
Necessary
that?
Roughness. From 91.
Necessary Roughness. Yes.
Necessary Roughness. Yeah. Kathy Ireland's the kicker.
There's a 2011 version.
Oh, I didn't know
Bakula.
that. No. Well, he was in the original. Scott Bakula.
In the original, yeah.
Yeah, 1991 Necessary Roughness.
Yes,
the
sir.
original.
Let me find the real deal here.
Listen.
You guys speak among yourselves. You're forgetting 1994 Blue Chips game. Movie about basketball. That was a great movie.
Yeah, Blue Chips.
Oh no, you know what? Jamie Lee Curtis. Absolutely.
Jamie Lee Curtis and again, True Lies.
Oh yeah, she was in True Lies. She was good in.
Oh,
that was very revealing in True Lies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh.
Was more revealing in the Eddie Murphy Dan Aykroyd movie. You guys remember the name of that movie?
Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd.
Trading Places.
Trading Places. Oh, full on cans in that film.
Oh yes, sir.
Right.
She played a prostitute, didn't she? She played a prostitute.
And as every good actress playing a prostitute should, she gave us nips.
Yes, she did.
I'm not a misogynist. I love bitches. Man.
Oh yes, Paulina Porizkova. Yes.
You got me.
Paulina Porizkova. That's was married to the late Rico Kasich. And she was in that movie with Tom Selleck.
Really? You know they turned Necessary Roughness into a TV
My
series?
Alibi? Yeah, a movie called My Alibi. Pretty good.
Did anybody like what was
you
it?
Like Paulina?
Ali Sheedy back in the day? Anybody?
I was never big into Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of her because of Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Molly Ringwald was. See, I never. She was
unique. You know.
Yeah, and you know what kills me is that she was. Who was the guy who directed all those movies?
John Hughes.
John Hughes. That was like his muse, and I never understood that. But I mean, to each their own. You know. You want Molly? Go for it, brother.
She was the different girl next door.
You know what? A young Janet Jackson does it for me. Janet Jackson, period, does it for me. I ain't gonna lie. I'd hit Janet today.
Make sure you got your filter turned on.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you do searches like that, if you don't got the filter turned on, things just show up. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
see Daisy.
Hey, did you guys know Necessary Roughness was actually a series as well?
Oh, really?
Yes. And it wasn't bad. It was not bad at all. It had what's her name that played in oh man, what the hell? I gotta look. She's hot. She is very, very hot.
Scott.
Yes.
Scotty.
Yes.
Close your eyes. I'm going to say a name. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Don't do that to me, man.
Oh my God.
Kelly Thorne.
Do you know we were just talking about her, my wife and I, just a little bit ago?
Oh, really?
I'm gonna get real here for a minute. We just were talking about her a little bit ago because I was talking about the interview I did last night with Orville Nation, the great Orville Nation. We interviewed Corin Nemec, who is the great Parker Lewis Can't Lose. And back in that time, Fox, he started that show in 1990, and that was at the very beginning, really, not the beginning, but 5 years into like the Fox run. And Fox just launched 90210 that year before, or that year around there. And we were talking about that. So he had some guest appearances. Well, I didn't know, but my wife knew because she brought it up that he was on an episode of 90210, that him and Kelly Kapowski or whatever her name was on there were hooking up. And I did not know this. And I was telling my wife about I was about to tell my wife about my celebrity crush because it was either her or Winnie Cooper were my 1 and 2 right there, 1A, 1B. And my wife said, our daughter's going to kind of look like her when she grows up. And I said, please don't say that, because being my celebrity crush as a young boy, I can't.
Now you can't have that.
I can't have that intertwining, man.
Bring this up and tell me her name. Because hottie back in the day. Anybody?
Oh, God.
Yes. Wait. I know who that is. That's is that from Back to No. Wait, I know who this is.
I know this movie too.
Was this one of the past? Yes, no.
What?
I didn't hear what you said. You broke up.
Was this one of the Patrick Dempsey movies?
I'm not actually sure which movie this is
Can't
from.
Buy Me Love. No, that's not Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah,
girl.
I think it's the girl from Can't Buy Me Love.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Where's that image from?
She was also in Twins.
Oh, the girl from Twins.
Yeah,
but that's not. This is when she was younger. This is when this isn't what's his name's wife, is it? She ain't a Scientologist, is she?
Oh, Travolta? Is this her? Travolta's wife?
You guys ready?
Yeah.
There it is. It's Kelly Preston.
It is Travolta.
Yeah, Kelly Preston. That's Travolta's wife.
Wow,
Yeah.
Man, she looks so different. And Ruthie got that. Ruthie actually got that.
Did Ruthie get that?
Yeah, Ruthie got that.
Nice.
She's so young there.
Yeah, Ruthie. Oh, yeah. Travolta's wife. Yeah, Kelly Preston.
Those jugs. Thank God.
Yeah.
So Ruthie, when you do, Ruthie is one of the great women of the Fandom Menace, and she likes to do little videos for the toxic males out there. So if you could do one about Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I'd be very happy.
What about Olivia Newton-John? Anybody ever like her? She was cute.
Yeah, she was cute.
I was quite young. But I mean, she's Sandra D, and then she gets into like the leather pleather look, and yeah, it moved.
Oh, I love horse. I thought that just increased her value.
How about this one?
Okay, I'm going.
Rock, Weird Science. Not so much Rock, but yeah, I mean,
Weird Science.
Absolutely love that movie. And there were boobs.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, there were boobs.
Yep. That when everybody got sucked up out the
what happened? Chimney. What happened to TV where movies they just stopped doing that in high school like type movies?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What happened?
I long for the days of Porky's.
Coming of age movies have become a thing of the past.
Yeah. Like
those are what we call coming of age movies.
Yeah.
Coming of age movies. Yeah.
Like there was only a few. American Pie, but did they really
American
show?
Pie was like the last great one.
American
Did
Pie
they show anything though?
Not really.
Yeah. Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh yeah, Shannon Elizabeth. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
The first American Pie. Mm-hmm.
No, Shannon Elizabeth. She was in. She was in some of the Kevin Smith movies, right? She was in.
Yeah.
And Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes, I guess she's in the new one too. I like her.
Yeah.
Who do you guys all like down there? Give us your favorite again. I want to see who's some of your favorites, men or women. Women don't
get more involved. Yeah, if you're gonna make us look at dumb. We've already.
Irish or Ruthie. Tell us your female celebrity crush.
Yeah.
No, this is my channel.
Oh,
my channel. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. It's my first stream. I don't know if you ever knew that. Is this thing on? Okay.
What?
All right. So we got. There were boobs. Okay. I don't know. Cable ruined TV. PC culture. Yeah, that's true, Tommy.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I guess I could look at 90s too. Yeah, let me look at 90s.
90s.
There were some good things going on in the 90s.
Angie Everhart. I think I said that before. Do you guys remember Angie Everhart?
Although in the 90s, I was completely checked out and didn't care about much in the 90s.
You know, even though there was a lack of material up top, Gwen Stefani always did it for me. I love
Gwen Stefani. Okay, so in 1995, I just started my freshman year of college, and when I Am Just a Girl came out, was that 95 or maybe 94? But when that first came out, I have to say, wow, she had like that 40s yet punk look to her.
Oh, no doubt, it was a good band. I like that band.
Beat the crap out of me, and I like that.
You hear that, Ruthie? You hear that? You want to be beaten.
You know it. Let's see what
Scott, behave.
Oh,
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, Stephen Ernest, correct.
It sounded funny.
One of my favorite movies too. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God, how did I forget Winona Ryder? Oh Lord, Winona.
We said Winona. You were too busy looking at somebody.
That's one of my future crimes. I need to find a picture from my wife.
You know, I gotta say, Elizabeth Shue. I had a thing for her, and she is Elizabeth Shue the one in The Boys? Is that her?
Elizabeth Shue's a Karate Kid.
No, she
was.
Oh, you know now.
She's in The Boys now.
Oh, is she? Hopefully she's in Cobra Kai season 3.
Yeah, she was.
Yes.
That.
In what?
Cobra Kai season 3.
Oh, I know, right?
I hope so. Yeah, she is in The Boys. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, girl said when Johnny Depp, and it made me think of, you know what? I'm going to use this one because this is from.
You know, a lot of people liked Topanga from Boy Meets World. That was a lot.
I was never a Topanga fan.
I think I I think I was too old.
I was more Winnie Cooper.
Winnie Cooper blew her out of the water. Please, people.
Yeah.
Oh,
I agree. I concur.
I wasn't a
I hit
big
the wrong button.
Winnie Cooper fan either.
Oh,
well,
no, that I can't.
That's depressing. And
yeah,
aren't you from like Jersey, Philly, wherever the hell you're from?
Yeah, from Philly.
I mean, he wore a Jets jacket. You should have liked it. She wore it at one point.
Jets jacket.
Yeah, he was a Jets fan. That's the only thing I couldn't stand about Kevin Arnold.
I need to make.
Yeah,
sure.
he was a Jets fan. Yeah.
I need to make sure that this is correct. Excuse me. I'm sorry. You can only have 6 avatars. That is such bullshit.
That's sad.
I have lots and lots of pictures for my future ex-wife folder.
Oh wait, that's the right one.
There we go.
I'm gonna put in one of my favorite. Oh, it's not. Yeah, there it is. The thing about Winnie Cooper is she is smart as a mofo. She wrote a calculus book for like school. She wrote a textbook.
Crazy.
The girl is a genius.
Isn't that some shit? Good. I
kind of feel like my wife has a little bit of a Winnie Cooper look.
Oh, does she?
That's why I went there, man.
All right,
She's
man.
Beautiful.
Hey.
I love my wife.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, you know, you're going to say that because we've been talking about a lot of women lately. So she hears me.
Job to say that. You have procreated with her. She is the light of life.
It doesn't need to be a job. It's because I want light of life.
Pleasure. Right.
There ain't no Mod and Tommy. I'm sorry. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh,
I can maybe keep up here and there, but you know.
Yeah, that's almost impossible.
But
Bear does a damn good job for being on the panel and modding, and we have totally went to left field with this. I hope everyone's enjoying this stream. I mean, no one left, I don't think so. That's
good. Fuck Star Wars.
There's 12 watching.
You know what?
17 watching.
Thank you, man. Fuck Star Wars, dude. I'm so sick of talking about it. I'm so sick of who gives a shit what film we would have got, because it's going to piss me off even more that if this film was good. And from what I read, it looks like it was going to be a better film.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Green Lantern is going to be hitting HBO Max. It reveals Sinestro details. Yep.
You say Green?
What?
Green Lantern?
Green Lantern, HBO Max reveals Sinestro details.
Someone bring that up.
That's a Matt McGlowan story.
Listen, the dude that plays Sinestro.
Then, remember the guest appearance? Grant Gustin shares BTS look at Ezra Miller, the Flash on Crisis.
Now, I thought that was really cool. I did not see it, but yes, let's say that real quick. So on Crisis, if you hey guys, spoilers for Crisis on Infinite Earths for the WB.
I haven't watched it yet.
Well, we're gonna ruin it right now. So what happened?
Okay. I already know. I've seen that. I've seen it.
So there is a picture. I'd like to see it if someone wants to bring it up. You have the WB Flash meeting Ezra's Flash. And I thought that was kind of a cool thing to do. They had all the different Supermans on it. I caught a little bit of it. I actually, this is sad. I watched one episode through EFAP. So the guys from EFAP were reviewing it, and I just watched them review it, and it made it so much better. It was hilarious.
There you go. It's not big, but there you go.
All right. Oh, where's Final? Final, I'm bringing you back. Shut up.
Wow, you're all of a sudden very loud.
I know. Who, me? I'm always loud.
There's that scene there, Scott. I mean, that's just them saying. That's them posing.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Hey, I got a theory why they did this. Because everybody loves the Flash on TV. Loves this character. Everybody hates this character, the movie Flash. Everyone hates him.
Hate him.
I mean, I don't hate him, but I definitely like Grant Gustin better.
I think Grant was way better. You know, like, because the Ezra turned it into a joke role. Okay, and he was a coward, and yes, but it was the creation of the Flash, I guess. Grant just did a way better job. I actually watched a few seasons of that show before I kind of got. But he was awesome. He's an awesome
different versions of himself. That he is excellent. I mean,
I
like the whole cast. It it does go down a couple of woke roads here and there. It does, but if you could just get past it, the stories are good. That's what I do. I just concentrate on the main. I try to.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Supergirl.
It is nowhere near Supergirl. And
Supergirl goes to the max.
And I haven't seen enough of Batwoman to know where that's going.
I haven't either. I've only watched the first episode.
This was the last one reviewing it. He even said, "I think I'm the last YouTuber reviewing this right now."
I love it.
I haven't even touched it actually.
No one has really, but he did the credit. He did the best one.
He did.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do the watch on this. I've heard some. It's partially good and partially bad. So for the things I like about it, I have to suspend my disbelief and I guess plow through it.
You're gonna watch all of Batwoman?
No, I'm gonna watch I haven't watched the new one yet.
Oh no, I haven't either. Yeah, I'm still trying to finish last season's. It's too much to watch. I'm almost done with it. You guys know that show Barry?
No.
Watch that? Oh man! Bill Hader, it's on HBO. He plays an assassin. Ends up
I started
an actor. Yeah, it's great.
I started watching it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
But you see, there's so many things I was watching that I had to keep up on. It's I
know that's a problem.
I'm very picky with my TV, and you know what I do now? The last 2 years, what I do is I go around and I check out. I'll check out Gary, or I'll check out a couple other people, and if they say it's good, I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm going to watch The Expanse. I haven't watched that yet, and Doomcock keeps talking about how good that is.
It's good.
The Expanse. I haven't watched that. Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
The Expanse is good. I still haven't watched this newest season because I'm just so behind on everything. But yeah, The Expanse is really good, dude. It's just one of those shows. The first season is a little slow for some people, but it builds up. It really builds up what this universe, what this solar system's about. The difference between Earth, the difference between Mars, the difference between the Belters. I mean, it's a really cool show, man. And I never read the book, but I guess it's based on the first book, episodes 1 through or seasons 1 through 3, maybe. I know Gary has spoken about it, but I don't know exactly if that's it. I don't know, but you guys got to give it a chance.
Yeah, I will. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
I suspended my standards and tried to watch CW, but it didn't work for me. Look, the first few seasons of Green Arrow, excellent. The first few seasons to me were excellent. Everything when they brought in Deathstroke, the League of Shadows, all that stuff. I loved all of that.
Oh, the League of Shadows stuff and Deathstroke stuff was great on Arrow.
And some of those actors were from the Starz Spartacus series. And if you have not watched that, if you love tits and ass and dudes killing
and gladiators,
you will love that show. You need to watch that show. And
Spartacus, I like that. Yeah, I was in
the first season. It's a shame because the first season, Andy Whitfield, he died after the first season.
Yeah.
And
he was amazing.
That first season in and of itself is wonderful. Bar none. Wonderful.
Every episode.
And then they because when he was going through the cancer treatments to try and save his life, they did the prequel. It was a 6-episode prequel just to fill in the time, keep the actors working, and bring back some of the actors who had died in the first season because they were great. Just all of the characters are so good. And
the dude who plays Deathstroke in this is amazing.
It was so good that yours truly dealt with homoerotic bullshit because the show was that good. All right, dong on dong action, and you're like,
a lot of dongs,
but they replaced it with a lot of vag, so it's okay.
There was a lot of dongs.
Don't get scared. Don't get scared.
Yeah,
there's gayness going on there, but the show overall was excellent. And then the preceding seasons, you had oh god, I can't think of his name right now. The next guy that played Spartacus, the next season it was like him trying to play Andy. It really didn't work. Yeah. And then
he still did
a decent job, but the supporting cast is what held it together. And the guy that played Animaeus and there's all those guys are really good. And then the third season, they found their stride, but unfortunately, Starz canceled it too early. It needed another season to flush out the whole story. The actual story of Spartacus, if you don't know, check out a history book. That is just one of the most awesome stories about slave rebellions, just fighting the system. These people ransacked through Rome, fucking everything up, went all the way north, and then for
an army of gladiators,
army of gladiators and slaves went all the way to the north. They could have escaped over the Alps, and for whatever reason, they were like, "Nah, we're going to keep fucking these people up." And they turned around and did it. They destroyed over 4 different Roman generals, 4 different armies. This ransacked barbarian slave army destroyed until they were finally killed. They were cornered at the bottom of the boot of Italy, and they had paid pirates to ferry them across the Mediterranean. And the generals who were chasing them at the time found out and paid even more money to the pirates. The pirates betrayed them, and they died. Funny thing, they never found Spartacus's body.
Is that true? I always wondered, is that true or is that myth?
Well,
they never, because did they know who, like?
Well, think about Rome. Think about how important it would be to Rome.
They would have told everybody
to scatter that body, to carry his head on a pike, to take it home as a trophy. You're talking about a slave, the lowest common denominator. How dare these fucking slaves? They would have crucified them on that long road. By the hundreds. That's a true thing. They actually did that. So those stories are true. There's another one that kind of mimics it, the story of Boadicea, who was a Celtic princess. She was her family. It was during the time of the Roman invasions into Britannia, and they came into this town, and then the king was like, "Nah, fuck you guys." They came back and they killed him, and they did misconduct to her sisters and mother, and she was the only one left alive, basically left functional. Anyway, she went around and she collected the different clans, and she rebelled against Rome. She sacked Londinium, the first army to sack Londinium, and
Londinium.
And then they eventually destroyed her army, her barbarian army, but they never took her life, and they never found her body. Story is that she took her own life so that the Romans wouldn't have her.
What was beautiful about those is that to live on after, the Romans would have tried to scrub them from history, but for them to live on, they made an impression. And the Spartacus rebellion is one of those things that if Rome could have done it, they would have scrubbed it from their history. I think in many ways they tried to, but there was just so much propaganda for the gladiators, because it went from, this is a group of rebel gladiators, to people from outside the boot of Italy supporting them, because Rome, granted, brought civilization, they say, to a lot of these places, but it also was even though they allowed you to believe in your gods and kind of run it your own way, they were still oppressors. You had to pay Rome, you had to follow their rules. I mean, in the Middle East, they couldn't stand Rome. But anyways, I love history, man. Immortal. I'm sorry, brother.
So that's okay. I enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I enjoy, stories that liken our civilization to Rome, because there's some very good, interesting things. How's everybody doing tonight?
Well,
fantastic, brother.
We tried talking about Star Wars, and then we got really mad.
Yeah, we got a little off topic.
And then we started talking about 80s and 90s chicks, and then we got into slave rebellions. So yeah, that's about it.
We've been all over the map.
That's cool. So, were you talking about the Trevorrow script leak?
We started.
That's where we started. And then we ended up with Spartacus. A good story.
A good story.
It's a good story.
Yes.
All I could say is I did read some of that. That's the beginning of that script. And you saw Star Wars in that script. Was there a lot of flaws at the beginning? Yes. Okay, there were some flaws. But you felt he took pride in what he was doing with those characters. So I have to give him that. I have to give him that.
He was excited just to be able to pitch the story to Luke Skywalker. He referred to Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and is happy just to be able to pitch a story to him. So, that tells you his at least his devotion in wanting to honor, the nature.
He was a fan. He was a fan. That wanted to make.
Is that crazy?
Holy shit!
I know it's crazy for being a fan. You know, the big scuttlebutt that I hear is that Luke Skywalker wasn't very popular with a lot of the writing group. Now, obviously, they have an agenda and they want to promote females ahead of males. So when he shows up with a pro Luke script, of course he's got to go.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, we all know that famous picture, right? In Lucas film, you know, like, I think it's Skywalker Ranch where you see the big X over his face.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's face, you know, the agenda was there.
Yeah.
What?
From the beginning.
I did not see this picture.
You didn't see that picture? Oh, final.
No, dude. When was this? When was this?
Oh, this was a couple years ago.
I actually have a picture.
Why don't I know this?
Go ahead and screen share.
Because the media scrubbed shit out of it. They would not repeat it. They would not show it. It didn't.
They still have a YouTube video that they did when they were trying to promote something, and I don't think they've scrubbed that video yet.
Really? Share my screen here.
Yeah. It was when Lucasfilm was promoting something, and they had that one woman walking through the writers group.
Yeah, they haven't figured out which cubicle it was in. Like whose cubicle it was.
I have the picture. I'll display it here in a minute.
Yeah, I got it. I'm sharing it if Scott pulls it up.
Steven, your avatar was tripping me out, man. I was thinking, like, who's this hot chick that's streaming with us now?
So this is the X, right? In marker.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it comes from the Star Wars show. They accidentally showed it. Here's where it comes from. You know this show, right?
Yeah.
They always film it. So if you look here, this is it right there, though. You could see the red. See the red X there? The red X there.
And what is their freaking excuse?
This is the story group. This is like the Lucasfilm's storyboard group.
Yeah.
They all work out of there. You see I don't see an X over her face there.
No, you don't.
Kind of blue something or other there.
Decoration
though. But yeah, I mean, clearly see the X right there. That was the agenda from the get-go. The downfall.
And looking at it now, I've even heard rumors that Leia was supposed to be.
Enlarge my thumbnail, Spork.
Hold on one second, buddy.
How do I do that? Not the minus. It's the little box within the box.
Gotcha.
It's the box within the box. Hi.
Wrong one. You clicked Stevens.
Yeah, I wanted to just show that one more time.
I'm too sexy for this thumbnail.
There, right there. This was a screen capture from the actual YouTube video that they put out. Wow. And not only was it here, but there's another picture. I couldn't find it again, but something around over in the desk area to the left of this part here, there was another one, supposedly. And they walked right by it. They showed it in their video. It's like, was it a Freudian slip, or did they intend to do that on purpose? It's hard to say.
Well, they wanted to downplay Luke's legacy, obviously.
What that is, you know what that is, and you're right, Immortal. They wanted, but they were so. It was so okay where they were to disrespect our characters that they thought nothing of it when they filmed it, because it's just, to them, it's the obvious thing. Luke Skywalker is, it's the man we have to knock down. He's the patriarchy. But when they're filming this, they don't even think twice about it because it's so accepted in that writers group. It was so accepted that they didn't even think twice. Wait a minute, maybe we have to hide this, because it became something so normal to them. And that makes me sick.
Now, wasn't it true that Kathleen Kennedy handpicked who got to be in the story group after the sub?
Yeah, she hired the whole group and hired only women. It was all handpicked women.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let the rant. Hold on. Excuse me. Let the rant begin. Stephen, the author, do you have something to say?
I'm sorry, Final. I want to apologize for walking.
Go ahead.
I got a little excited. Got a little bit of a chubby, little sci-fi chubby. Yes.
There.
Yes, Immortal Coil, you are absolutely correct. See, Kathleen Kennedy, first person that she hired for her story group. Let me recap this for everybody. Was Carrie Hart, and Carrie Hart was Let's see. She was quoted as saying, "My first move is to make the story group entirely female, starting with Rain Roberts and Carrie Beck. Sexist hiring practices is apparently a foundational tool at Disney Lucasfilm. Agenda over content, ideology over character development, and socio-political propaganda that rules over all. Rain Roberts' experience was as an assistant to someone on a movie called The Life as We Know It, and as an associate producer in a 2008 documentary called The Fair Trade. Yes, that's it. But because she had a vagina, that was all the experience she needed. Carrie Beck's only experience was as an executive producer in a made-for-TV movie in 2010 called Ghost Aliens. Yes, these are the people being hired to intentionally ruin Star Wars. How can anyone else see it? A myriad of talented, experienced people in the film industry. Some who must have had a love for Star Wars, but no, agenda over content. Diana Williams, her experience was nothing, absolutely nothing. Kennedy could have chosen a street bum at random and garnered the same result. Leland Sheen was a Star Wars tester in 1998, already more qualified than the aforementioned lot. She also worked in Lucasfilm licensing in 2006. That's it. Pablo Hidalgo was an uncredited visual artist on 3 projects in 1999 and 2000. He played an uncredited extra in Revenge of the Sith 2005. Pablo is also known for insulting the traditional Star Wars fandom on Twitter. Matt Martin's experience is fuck all. Steve Blank's is also vacant. Resume is also vacant as well. Should we begin wondering about the top-tier management decisions made at Disney Lucasfilm yet? James Wan, no experience. By this point, are we really surprised? Josh Rhimes, hold on to your seat, actually had some experience. He worked as a producer on the BoJack Horseman in the booth at the end in 2010 and 2014, respectively. Also working on The Logger and a production secretary for Curb Your Enthusiasm and a series called The Smiths in 2000s. He also wrote 1 television episode of a show called Stranger Adventures in 2006. Stephen Fetter, again, no XP. He was a level 1 NPC. Cara Pardo, nothing, nada, 0. If you just read through all that and still do not feel at all cheated, you might not be a fan. If the Force's female t-shirts didn't nail home the point that Kennedy had a very direct and open agenda when it came to for her plans in the Star Wars franchise, they get ready to feel properly fucked. As Star Wars consumers ignored every warning sign in anticipation of Star Wars Episode 7, a very disturbing statement came out of Lucasfilm. The entire expanded universe had been thrown away. You might not understand what this means had you not been following at least some of the expanded universe, so let me explain. In the time between Return of the Jedi and the Fandom Menace, the Phantom Menace, there was a long cinematic drought. Star Wars fandom had 5 options during this time. Watch the original trilogy over and over. Star Wars conventions and cosplay, toys, collectibles, and perhaps models and prop building, comic books and other Star Wars literature, and video games. The last 2 are very important to understand. These were the means in which new Star Wars stories about our favorite heroes being told. We wanted to read about what happened after the Battle of Endor, the journey of Luke Skywalker as he progressed to become a Jedi Master, and the greatest hero in the known galaxy. We were also introduced to new enemies in the literary adaptations, and the change from Dark Jedi to Sith Lord. We read about Leia and Han's children, Jason and Jannah, 2 fan favorites within the expanded universe. Other favorites like Mara Jade, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and a slew of others too numerous to name. Let's see. Disney did not want to take credit or pay creators for their contributions. It's really quite greedy and quite simple, actually. Don't be fooled. These talentless hacks were more concerned with pushing a false narrative than crafting anything resembling the entertainment consumers waited nearly half a century to see. They took decades of beloved lore and wiped their collective asses with it. Disney paid them to put it on screens all over the world, just to their new virtue signaling, so they could rub it in our faces on a massive global scale. Perhaps that's why the Chinese were smart enough to shut everything down in just a few weeks. They were even quicker with it about Solo. # Solo lost money. All right, I'm done.
Oh, well, can we first, wow, that was impressive. Second, welcome Gary from Nerdrotic. Hey Gary, what's up, man?
Hail,
what's up, guys?
How's
it going? How you doing?
You
how's
done
it going?
What was that?
You done working out?
I'm done working out. I just got home. I got a coffee, got my Pete's coffee, and
nice.
Was about to fire up a video, and I saw that goddamn poster with Luke's face scratched out, and I got triggered so bad. I literally walked in. I had Sporking. I had your voice echoing in my head. I don't give a fuck about Star Wars. I'm so done. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And then I saw that fucking poster, and I got so fucking mad. I'm making another video now, and it's about that poster. Good. And I know a bunch of people have seen it, but a bunch of people haven't seen it. And that says it all right there. I mean, like, that's it.
Yep.
That's it,
well,
dog.
It's the goddamn
truth, we can trigger you.
I was just as mad in the video I made about it.
Man,
think about this. Think about this.
And
I mean, that it's so obviously right there in the story group's room, you know, and it's caught on their like Star Wars show is just beyond me that got out.
Again, it's so It's so okay. It's so accepted in that story group. They didn't even think fucking twice that, hey, maybe we should hide the picture of, I don't know, Luke Skywalker crossed out because we disrespect the fucking, the OT, the original, the prequel, everything. They stomped on it. That's why I can't stand fucking Star Wars.
No, they were loud and proud.
I can't stand it.
They were loud and proud about it. They gave not a single fuck. They were just like, yeah, this is what we're doing, and we don't care who hears it. That's why they didn't care about that or getting caught on camera. They wanted you to know. Fuck the fans.
Cognitive dissonance is a prerequisite to working for Disney.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's Exhibit A for these were not Star Wars fans. They're posers. They came in. They liked the brand. They wanted to ride the brand into success and make it their own. Make it something it isn't. Which we've seen with so many franchises now. And that girl, the one from the Star Wars shows, the one who famously is drinking the cup with male tears on Instagram or Twitter. I try to throw that in every other one of my videos just to remind everybody that the Star Wars show host likes to drink fanboy tears. So, screw them. Screw Star Wars. I don't freaking care about it anymore. It's dead to me. I don't think I'm even going to cover The Mandalorian because I don't care. It's part of a story that sucks.
Yes, it does. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they have to. No matter what they do with Mandalorian, as good as it may or may not be, depending on everyone's point of view, they still have to eventually deal with the First Order, and they have to work within the confines of what they freaking set up with the sequel trilogy. So as good as it can be, it's still eventually, we know where it's leading, all roads lead to crap.
That's why I don't see a Luke Skywalker show, because I know where he's going to end up. Like, it doesn't matter what they tried to retcon in 9. I did not get my living Luke Skywalker. I didn't get my Grandmaster Luke Skywalker moments. I didn't get the hero. I didn't get the original. And there's no way they can fix that. There's no fixing it at this point. No. I'm going to forever be pissed off at them for that.
Did you guys see? Did you hear this news? I just did a video on today. Now that they're saying that Starkiller Base was created by Palpatine a year after Revenge of the Sith happens. He started creating Starkiller Base. So
what?
The whole Death Star stuff going on.
That was in my Google notices
at the same freaking time. It was Palpatine. It was the Empire, not the First Order. I was like,
he has little Snokes in a jar. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, we saw that.
He stopped growing fucks and started growing Snokes.
Yeah.
They're just trying to
that
everything in a nice little package, and it's it's a bunch of sharp edges. They're just sticking out in all directions.
Yeah,
what do you have to say, Bear?
That image is in the Fourth Wave Council chat, and I DM'd it to you, Gary.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Bear. You're awesome.
Yeah, that I'm really surprised that video hasn't disappeared, because the Star Wars Story Group put that YouTube video out, and they so blatantly just show it. If
they're happy about it. They're rubbing it in our face.
If you blink, you might miss it. But as far as I know, they haven't taken that video down yet.
They don't want to.
What you're saying is it still on their site?
Yeah, send
on their YouTube channel.
Hey, Final, you found the article to that, right? That was Bounding in the Comics, right? Well, the YouTube link is in his article. That was by John Trent, right?
Yep. The great John F. Trent.
The great John Trent. Man, he comes up with some great stuff, man. He is always, his hand is on the pulse of what's going on. And it makes, going back to what you said, Gary, because just to hear, well, just to hear, oh, you heard it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
I could have sworn Bounding did one too.
Yeah, I'm sure multiple people covered it.
No, but what I was going to say is just hearing Sporking, hearing you say that I said I fucking hate Star Wars hurts. It hurts that I fucking hate Star Wars. I can't believe I hate Star Wars. Like my daughter is 5 years old, almost 6. And the other day, she knows this is what I do. It's kind of a joke with my wife and I that I cover nerdy things. She loves it. But my daughter said, Daddy, when are we going to watch Star Wars? And I literally got excited. And then I'm not going to lie, I got a little emotional because I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I show it to her? And my idea is I'll show her 1 through 6. And someday when she's old enough to understand, she can watch, the rest of it. I don't know what else to do.
How old is she?
I don't know what else to do.
How old
She'll be 6 in March. She'll
enjoy the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, she'll enjoy
she'll enjoy Jar Jar. Let her enjoy Jar Jar while she can.
Hey, they're bringing. There's the rumor they're bringing Jar Jar back in the Obi-Wan show now.
Yes,
that's a.
Gary, are you excited for Jar Jar Binks?
Oh my God, pins and needles! I can't wait. I mean, this is what I'm waiting for. I mean, honestly,
isn't that what we all were asking for?
Yeah,
more Jar Jar.
The only thing that Disney did that I liked was getting Ahmed Best to do that game show or something like that and give him some work over all the shit he took for Jar Jar. But I can't stand that character. And part of the reason it was easier to give up Star Wars and it's easy to give up Star Wars was because of the prequels. And I know there's a bunch of fans out there and I understand why you like it. I was a full grown ass man when I watched that.
Same here.
And at first I thought I liked it. Believe me, I walked out of the theater going, that was good, right? That was good.
Right.
Good.
Right.
It was. And I had to watch it like 3 more times and go, that wasn't good, but I like the lightsaber. It's still better than Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
So.
It had some great music, original scores in the prequels, and it had some great lights.
Yeah,
I like it.
There was a lot of.
Even in canon, it was all Jar Jar's fault. He voted emergency powers and blah blah blah. So there's a reason they hate Jar Jar.
Fuck it all up. Steve,
Jar Jar's responsible for Star Killer Base. That's what I heard.
Yes, he designed it.
Lord.
Well, who knows now? If it was created back in the prequel era, he very well could be.
Well, you have to buy a book to learn that in though. There's a comic.
There's a book.
There's a comic coming out where Palpatine conceives Rey's mom or dad. Is it dad? Yeah. So it's Palpatine having sex. Issue series coming from Marvel Comics. It's Marvel Max. It's a Marvel Max label.
Is it pre or post facelift?
It is post. He found a woman who was into fetish. She was in the
that's hot.
Melted men. Who honestly I always thought Palpatine was gay. So
I did too. I thought he was asexual.
Power. I don't find him as he has a lust for power. That's about his only lust.
Well, he had such interest in asexual. He had such interest in Anakin and little Annie.
Well, his quotes at the end of Jedi are very sexual. If you look at it, you feel the power flowing through you, young boy.
I read this great Reddit post, which breaks down his Force lightning as almost having like an orgasm where he can't stop, and it's like an erotic kind of thing. And it goes into detail about how the Sith are driven by emotion and how the Jedi aren't. And it really kind of you start reading and you're like, I kind of get where they're going with this. You see Palpatine's always got such he can't stop.
When you're the emperor of the galaxy and everybody's scared of you, of course you want like a dominatrix to come in and scare
kick
you
in the nuts.
Feel like a little man.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was a comic book not too long ago that showed that there was some woman behind him and is the source of all his whatever.
I saw that. You know what? I saw that. That was a Marvel thing. That was a recent. That wasn't EU, huh? That was recently. And I couldn't believe they were trying to do that. They were trying to undermine him and make it seem like it was this genius woman behind the scenes who is really manipulating Palpatine.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
The ultimate white man.
What? Hold on.
I remember that.
Yes. This was
for a second. Explain that again.
There's a comic.
And who's that going?
Describing that Palpatine was really under the influence of this one of his, I guess someone a counselor, but she was really the one who was calling the shots and pulling Palpatine's string.
You should go and invade this planet because they're pissing me off.
Yep, I read that. Yeah, unbelievable.
Okay, so Palpatine, the greatest evil of all time, still had a woman in control. What?
He's the Lord of the Sith, and he's a yes ma'am kind of guy behind closed doors.
Yeah, he's a yes man.
You're talking about that one female that was behind him. I did a video on that particular one. She was in a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I bet she was.
Yeah.
You want this, don't you?
Yeah.
The hate is swelling in you, young Skywalker.
Makes stiletto stepping kind of.
Hey,
you're destroying Revenge of the Sith for me right now, Gary.
I look forward to you calling me master. Yeah.
Oh, here. Okay, here it is. Star Wars is dumb, of course. Here, share this screen. I found.
Hey, actually, I want to give Itchy a shout out real quick. Screen real quick because he's got us up there.
Goodness.
He also has Disney Star Wars is Dumb available. Anyone, please check out Indiegogo for Disney Star Wars is Dumb.
Itchy.
Second in the blog roll, author Stephen Walton. Third, Bear Nerd Fun. Beyond the Trailer, Black Angus Reviews. There's a bunch of us down in there, I thought that was kind of cool. Figure I'd give Itchy a shout out.
Yeah, Itchy is great. Yeah, and if you guys don't know, his Indiegogo is back up for Disney Star Wars is Dumb. Please go check that out. Support him. I have already gotten my book, and I can't wait to receive it.
Itchy is a friend, and let's make sure we support him. He always is respectful, always comes on, has great things to talk about. So get out there. If we could drop a link, one of you guys, to that, that'd be great.
Tommy.
Yeah, he was on the fourth wave about a week ago.
Tom,
we've had him on a couple times.
Yeah, we got his Twitter and his YouTube channel link out there. I put it out there. Go ahead and follow
Tommy's
him
in the chat. I'm just wondering, Tom, did you ever get any homoeroticism from Palpatine and Annie? Just wondering.
Because I got to say something about that. I am not a prequel. I'm not a prequel era guy. Okay. I grew up with the OT also, Gary. The prequel to me was always, first of all, I could never believe Hayden Christensen and whatever her name is, Padme. I just don't believe they had a relationship. I never believed the love. I never believed any of that. And the writing, George didn't do his best, but I will take that 1,000 times over what they gave us. 1,000 times over what they gave us. Because at least it was his.
Was great. Just watching him play Obi-Wan was great. That made it worth it. So he's the one who came. He brought his little lunch pail to work every day, and he acted the best he could in those films. So I thought he did a good job.
And all he had to do was Qui-Gon, and he would have lived. Because I really liked.
Well, if he only healed them.
He only force healed
them, Oh boy, missed
opportunity. You go 2 Jedis every time, and you'll never lose a Jedi. If you always go a master and a Padawan and teach that Padawan the healing factor, you will never ever lose a Jedi. You never have to lose a Jedi.
Ray wasn't around to teach anyone that. Ray was,
Baby Yoda was around. That little piece of shit. Baby Yoda was there.
Baby Yoda was around.
Baby Yoda. Yes. Oh yeah, because 50 years. Right?
He's the 50-year-old virgin, man.
Virgin, yeah. So this is the character. This is the character who is responsible, as you see here, for building the Empire. It wasn't Palpatine. It's Imperial Minister Patina Vore.
Patina Vore.
This is a video on that article.
Officer and governor. Yeah. Yep. Married to a lame duck bureaucrat in the Empire's ruling class, and then was the basically was the force, the driving force behind Palpatine. Screen rant.
There we go. That's the O face. Oh.
Yeah, there it is. But so that's it. This is who was responsible for the Empire, not Palpatine.
Yeah.
What's the date on that article? Is that from 4 months ago?
No, let's.
October 2nd. Yeah, about.
It's fairly recent. Yeah.
I did a video on that article.
So much freaking news came out before the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh man, yeah.
I was just laid out. I couldn't do any more videos. I had to tap out like a week before the movie came out because there was just so much.
Oh, there is. Yeah. What I started doing, Steven, is just throwing like 3 articles in a video and just taking the best bits out. That's the only way I could keep up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Yeah. They were really trying to as they could, as much interest as they could, because they knew going in. This was not going to go the way they want. I mean, it suffered a 92% plunge in weekend 4. It's tied for the highest plunge, for a movie that's made that much money for tied in. They gave you the double.
Everybody's telling us it passed 1 billion, and we have people going out there going, trying to say that we were. I don't know about you guys. I never said the Rise of Fall of Skywalker wouldn't make $1 billion.
Yeah, I never said that either.
I think we all said it would make $1 billion. I'm pretty sure we all did.
Yeah.
I think we all said it, but
Marvel made
all
$1
I
billion.
know. There you go. Oh, how about their the director, or excuse me, the writer of Captain Marvel 2, huh?
It's her creation, pretty much. Kelly Sue DeConnick. I think that's a troll article. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if she's involved at some point.
The only way I'd go.
That's what I was going to ask you if that was true.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's from Sausage Roll, and there's bad English in that. And I've actually been brought up in that website before, and it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they basically took a bunch of my takes and threw it in which is fine. I don't care. But yeah, I think it's some translated site from somebody who's not a native English speaker, or it's not their first language. If you look at some in that stuff, and that's, you're going to see more of that. Honestly, I know people like to go to We Got This Covered, but I think We Got This Covered is made for us to make videos out of their articles.
Oh, I believe it. Now, what do you think about
weird
CBR?
symbiotic relationship?
Yeah, I've done a few videos on We Got This Covered.
I when I need a headline that matches something, I can find it there.
CBR
is trash. CBR is
funny to me that
CBR is trash.
Journalists have nothing to do but watch YouTube videos, and when things like Overlord Hail Doomcock gets mentioned in Esquire magazine, our little vocal minority actually is carrying weight, and they're scared of us. Our fucking moniker fell out of J.J. Abrams' mouth in an interview.
Yeah,
that's got it
a couple times, twice I think.
Yeah,
he's mentioned Fandom Menace by
mentioned by the BBC.
The BBC mentioned it to JJ, right?
Yep.
And he acknowledged it.
BBC was also
clear. They know who we are.
Well, BBC was also worried about the upcoming Doctor Who at the time. The upcoming Doctor Who.
Somebody wants to say hello.
Hello.
And how did the Doctor?
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hey there.
Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
That's my.
That sounds just like the intro to your videos.
Yeah, it does.
Him not yet. My 6-year-old's on the videos, on the outros.
It sounds just like him.
Yeah, they're master and disaster together.
Awesome.
See, people, we are not just toxic males. We are dads. We are husbands. We are brothers. We are sisters. We are just people that care about the art we enjoy. Okay. And that's something that people, I think, forget. We're human beings that just loved something so much. Would it be Game of Thrones? Let it be Star Wars? Let it be Star Trek? And we hate what they did to it. And this is why we came together as a group. We have little channels and big channels, but we all agree on one thing. We need to be the ones who defend what we love, because what they're doing to what we love is criminal. In my view, it's criminal.
And
social engineering.
And to add on that, Hollywood is listening. They are watching, and I have 100% confirmation from this because I've talked to a couple of producers for a couple different shows who've reached out to me to say that they are watching and listening, and they just wanted to let me know and let all of you know that they are all not like that. A lot of them have to be quiet, and they're trying to quietly change things from inside, and we are encouraged to keep going. So we will.
That is huge.
Didn't Bob Iger even come out like recently and say that Captain Marvel is not the strongest or most pivotal character?
Yeah, but that's him just
like, after all that stuff.
No,
dude, I think
that's
he's come out and
bullshit.
been like, she's not.
Final.
To me, when I read that, I was like, no, but I think that was him trying to. He's realizing where the tide is going.
No,
I think he's trying to get a surfboard lined up. I think that's what I felt like.
Stan Lee is always going to be the final authority on who's.
Hey, let's hear what Scotty has to say.
What I'm trying to say is this. Thank you, Bear. Holy crap! For once, look at that. Thanks, man. Me and you not fighting together.
I'm gonna start talking now. I'm just kidding.
No, what I'm saying is this. Now I know how everybody else feels when I cut them off. No, what I'm trying to say is this. Bob Iger, the only reason he freaking said that was it was twofold. One thing, he realizes all the hate is coming and he's trying to backtrack just a hair. The other reason is who has a movie or who has a show coming out soon? Who do they want us talking about right now? They want us talking about Scarlet Witch. They don't want us thinking about Captain Marvel. They want us to turn the bend and look at the series that's coming up. Hey, look at everybody. Look at the series coming up. Blah, blah, blah. He is a salesman. What I like to hear is what Gary's saying. The guys behind the scenes, the people that can't speak up, who can't go to the media and say this is all bullshit, letting us know they support us and having us keep doing what we're doing. That is huge. That is huge. Fuck Bob Iger. I want to know, like, Bob Smith, the guy who supports us doing what we do. That's huge, man. And that was an attack on you, Final. I can't agree with that.
Hey, Scotty, there's a reason why they're scrambling to get all their online showing of episodes, like The Mandalorian, stuff like that. Because guess what? Aquaman animated series is coming to HBO Max soon from James Wan.
Yeah.
That article, I have notifications for articles that just pop up, and this one just popped up as we started. And that the reason why they're scrambling is because they want to beat all the competition to these streaming platforms.
They do. Well, and they also see Marvel is vulnerable right now. They're sniffing that out. And I just think Jar Jar's going to go in and screw it up. But I think James Wan was onto something. I think they were onto something before the CEO, the guy who was running stuff, got Me Too'd right out of there by Jar Jar Abrams' wife.
By who? There you go.
Jar Jar Abrams' wife. Yep.
Now that we have you here, what do you feel about Seth moving on? What do you think that deal will do?
Seth MacFarlane. Do you want my honest opinion? I think the
honest opinion.
I think the Orville's
That's
done.
what I was. He doesn't have control of it. He can't take it with him. That's what I was worried about, man.
I'm going to find out definitively by Monday, and I'll let you guys know. I'm actually going to LA this weekend, so and I've got a very special thing planned on Monday. That I'm probably gonna have to cancel all my shows on Monday. Sorry, but this is a big deal. So I'm heading down to LA and going to do something. And yeah, I'm very concerned. It's safe for now. That's the quote I got. That's an official quote from somebody working on the show. Is it's safe for now. And he loves the show. I know, like, it's his favorite thing. For one, he gets to act. He wants to act more than anything. But what these deals are basically that they're basically citing free agent. It's like a free agent frenzy after there's a collective bargaining agreement in any sports ball, for a division or whatever league. So he needs to develop shows. He's not going to be actively involved in every show he's developing. So he'll probably make up 10 shows, assign people to run them, and he'll just take part in a couple of them. And maybe if he owns, and I don't know, if he owns the Orville outright, I know he'll take it with him. I know he will. And maybe that's what was part of the reason why it went to Hulu. It was strange that it went to Hulu after, because remember, it got picked up for a third season, then it went to Hulu.
Yes. Yes.
And
that was odd.
They were very nervous about that because that's when they reached out to me and talked to a bunch of, it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of people they reached out to, and they wanted to know what you guys thought, because they were worried, because they actually give a crap, which is nice and refreshing. I just told them, whatever keeps it on the air, I don't care.
That's the same here.
Yep. Yeah. And so I don't know, though. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I'll find out. I'm truly worried, though, because that's the one show I give a crap about.
Yeah, me too.
Hey,
that show. Drew, to force Gary when he goes to LA, because that's the pit of vipers right there.
I know,
right?
That's where I'm in. I'm in LA.
You're in LA? All right.
Oh.
Hey, are you wearing a Van Gogh shirt or a Doctor Who shirt?
It's a Van Gogh Star Wars.
Van Gogh Star Wars shirt. Okay. Because I have the Van Gogh TARDIS carpet. That's what I'm sitting on right now. From
I've got it. Hold on. So give me one. I've got a shirt you love.
I was gonna make a Palpatine Snoke Stavros here, but it got away from me.
Oh no!
Yeah, Drew, what do you have to say, Bear?
in the chat, and he wants to take a moment to give Gary a thank you. Since Gary is here, I just want to say thank you personally from my mother and I from all his help in getting our info out there. Sporking Podcast News, if you could highlight this, Scott.
Of course, Drew.
He says thank you, and we've had some conversations, and Drew is very, very, very grateful. He's expressed this to me a few times.
Wow, thank you. I mean, the honor's mine. Thank you for all your support and everything. I mean, like that, you guys are the most important thing, and meeting all you and hearing that never gets old. Thank you.
Yeah, Drew is a great
All right,
guy.
Gary, check that
out. That's awesome. I love that.
Like that. Yeah,
that is cool as hell.
Yep.
Hold on, let me highlight that.
And
Bring it back up. Bring it back up.
That is cool.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
Hold on, I'll figure it out at some point. There we go.
I have wondered this: is the Cyberman the inspiration for the Borg on TNG?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, probably.
If I may, I wanted to ask one question, segue back to something that Gary had said before. He said that there was producers out there that are silently trying to change things, and that we should keep doing what we're doing. Does that mean, because a lot of times we use blanket statements, we talk about Hollywood, and when we're making our videos, should we continue to have that approach, or should we curb it a little bit? Just continue.
No, be yourself. Always be yourself. Don't worry about what they think.
Yep.
Absolutely. But that's a good question. But I think the people who are actual grown adults understand that we don't mean them. And I try to clarify, and it never hurts to clarify once in a while and say, hey, we don't mean everybody. In my Star Wars video, I said, hey, if you're a crew on this, I got nothing personal. I mean, they're going to hate me anyway, but I got nothing personal against them at all. Get your paycheck, get your cheddar, do your work. I'm sorry I'm shitting on something you worked hard on, but it's just a job to you. To a lot of people, this was a life's worth of investment and time, and something that got me through hard times. Star Wars got me through a lot of hard times. Comic books got me through a lot of hard times. They mean a lot to me, and it's not for anybody else to judge how much something means to me, period. That's how much I care about it. So, and hope, again, most of the adults in the room see that and they understand. And it's surprising because I just blanketly thought everybody would just hate everything I had to say or anything you had to say, and they don't. They seriously don't. And it's surprising how much I hear about it. To be honest with you, I was a little bit shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gary, let me ask you a question. Do you think that because, all the leaks that came out for Rise of Skywalker, it seemed to be, pretty much 100% accurate, and yet Baby Yoda went, for the most part, under the radar. But I have this theory that the people working on it thought they had something pretty good with Mandalorian, and they kind of knew there was a group of them that knew that Rise of Skywalker was going to be crap and it was a mess, and that they had been, letting stuff intentionally slip out. Do you think there's anything you've heard, or you think there's any truth to that? Or
I absolutely think there's truth to that. It's got to slip out somehow. I don't know this for a fact, but I mean, those things were way too accurate. They came from somebody closely involved, because I know that production was compartmentalized, which means not everybody knew everything. That's pretty much how they do everything now. So, it was a disgruntled employee, somebody with the Mandalorian, somebody who most likely was somebody who got fired or something, and got pissed. And because, I mean, that's their job, that's their ass. And if you find that out, you could also get in a lot of trouble leaking that stuff out, proprietary information that.
So I'm sure they probably signed some kind of NDAs.
Yes,
or something.
So it absolutely was somebody close to the production, and there was some definitely G-ops going on with Star Wars.
Yeah. Huh? Well, and you hit a valid point there, Final, that the people working on, granted, I'm not a fan of The Mandalorian. I like some of the stuff that happened. I'm not a hater, but I hate Baby Yoda, but I don't hate the show per se. I just think we all jumped a little too fast because we've had shit for the last decade. But the people working on it, Final, we didn't get many leaks about that show. I think you have a point there. They were so maybe proud of what they were working on, they actually held back from letting things slip out. And I think that's actually a valid point, man.
I think they probably saw the passion that Favreau and Filoni, for whatever people think about Filoni, I know, for a large populist. He's the go-to guy. The EU guys, I know they're not so happy about him, but he's got passion and he's got George's background and George's storytelling. He was trained under George, so he's got that kind of vision. And I think, maybe that's a lot of people, the cast, the crew of Mandalorian, kind of saw that, and were inspired. Unlike, which is a 180 from JJ, who has no plan, doesn't know what the heck he's doing. That the whole sequel trilogy was a mess. I see those two things, and one has this huge spoiler of this Baby Yoda, and like no one knew about it for the most part.
Right.
And then 2, you've got the Skywalker saga coming to the end, and everyone knows what's going on. It just seems like something. Obviously, there was disgruntled, or maybe it was like you said, Gary. Someone got fired, had a bone to pick. Very well could be the case. Anyway, guys, I have to say real fast, I got to leave because unfortunately I got to head to work right now.
Oh, thank God.
So,
great. Sorry, buddy.
This is your job, Deathstar. What are you talking about?
Knock on wood.
He's got to go kiss
final.
Billy D. Williams' ass.
Final, first comment, first like on your next video that you just published.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, I had that auto-published 5:30.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Gary, it's nice to finally talk and
nice to meet you. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I will see you guys. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Obviously, Tommy, of course, best mod in the biz. And all of you guys in the Fourth Wave. Thank you very much, Scott, for having me on. Oh, what an honor.
Hey, it's my channel. Get off it. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you for coming, man.
Let's see you next time. Bye.
Take it
Hey,
easy,
everybody.
Hey.
Hope they don't have blasters or whatever he says.
One of the things I'm interested in, Scott, is the Rotten Tomatoes. In my book, I have like the kerfuffle from Solo into Captain Marvel in my book, and it's like I'm going to have to update that whole chapter on Rotten Tomatoes now because of the audience score for The Rise of Skywalker that hasn't moved in tens of thousands of reviews, and that's very strange. And then you lead into Doctor Who, which the audience scores were actually scrubbed and then brought back. Gary, you've been following that. What the hell's going on with that?
Yeah, and it looked to me, I'm checking right now because I came home and checked it. It looked to me like they froze it again. But Rotten Tomatoes has something very weird going on. You have to you can't refresh it. Okay, it did update it now, so it's at 15%, and it's 15%. Doubled in reviews. It's doubled in reviews since almost doubled since my video yesterday. But yeah, to refresh it, I have to go into another season, click on that season, and then go back to the other season for it to refresh.
Wow, unbelievable!
Strange, and that's in both browsers on 2 different computers.
Now, in your opinion, does it deserve 15%?
Doctor Who season 12, yes. Yeah, I would say like okay, I'd say 35. I'll be nice. I'd say 35 because there's probably enough Jody bots out there, and there's probably enough normies who have no idea what's going on and who have just jumped on this show, and it's objectively bad though. I mean, that's the thing, is even the critics are starting to jump off this one, and it's because we're going to get blamed for this, by the way. It's the same thing with The Fall of Skywalker. The critics are seeing that, they made it less woke to please the alt-right trolls, which it's not less woke at all. They just tried to make it more action-y, which makes Jodie look worse. And I am not afraid to say this at all. It just doesn't work with a female lead. It doesn't. This show could. With a good enough writer, it could. I could be convinced. But not now, and the new Who, and we're not counting classic Who. I hear this a lot from the classic Who fans. That era is gone. This is new Who. New Who was established with young man, young companion, sexy it up a little bit. Of course, they're not going to do the deed, but always like they'll be a little flirty maybe, and that's what it is. And they started losing the Americans with Capaldi, the English. The hardcore Doctor fans loved him, and I liked him too. But it just started getting woke and female centric, and it's a show that actually appealed to everybody prior to this. That's the thing, is it was a show that men, women, gay, straight all loved anyway. It was a show that had a gay character in it already, or a omnisexual would fuck anything. And that was years ago. I mean, that's 10 years ago they had this character.
Wow.
So it was already on the forefront of that stuff. It didn't need to do this. And basically, yeah, it's horribly written. It's horribly woke. The last episode was propaganda, was straight up propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, I'm sorry, real quick before you, and let us know about it, because I want to hear about that. But now the BBC owns it, right? And now the people of England have to pay the BBC.
Yep.
So really, who would ever pull this show?
Never. It won't. We're going to get another season for sure.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't operate by the same rules as all the other. I wouldn't be surprised if they get some sort of credit for being quote unquote educational. As a matter of fact, I think they do. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I know that they get the TV licensing. The problem is this show does require outside licensing. It got a little bump from HBO Max, although it wasn't a huge bump because Amazon Prime let it go. So they didn't make as much money as they would have. And you can see it. The budget has gone down. And I know there's a bunch of people say, I don't care about Doctor Who. And you know what? I get you. The thing is, this is a franchise that's older than Star Trek.
Right.
Okay. This is the first fandom. This is the first nerds. It was Doctor Who. It was little kids. And this is how they pieced together those old lost episodes. There were kids pointing their 16 millimeter cameras at televisions in Australia in 1964. This is before Star Trek even came out. So that's how important it is. And this is going to be the first one to really fall, really take it in the shorts. And the fans aren't going to come back. It really did. It's already killed the franchise. There's no coming back from this. We're just going to watch it die slowly now. It's in hospice.
This is why Gary is writing that chapter for the Fandom Menace volumes, because he's a fan. He loves this show. And that's what we need. That's what we need told as this story about the Fandom Menace is being told. What can the Menace do to affect any kind of change in Doctor Who? Is it gone? Is there any way to save it, to help it?
Talk about it. If there was more people involved, this is a show that had the perfect hero, the one who didn't use violence, didn't use guns. He used his wits and charm, and a great male role model that was taken away to bring in a female who acts like a man. I mean, it serves nobody any good when they could have just. There's so many. For one, Doctor Who created by a female. Let's just say it, and instrumental in its beginnings, and there's enough female characters where they could have done a completely separate show, and when the show was in its prime not too long ago, it would have been successful. Instead they chose the easy way. The only way to, I don't think there's anything we can do. We just always speak your mind. Don't sit on your hands. Don't be quiet. Nothing changes if you're quiet. If you genuinely don't care, that's fine. I don't get that. I get that. But this is the show I care about the most. So I'm not going to shut up about it. And it's not, honestly, it doesn't do the best on my channel. I could make 5 more Star Wars videos and they would do better. But this is my fight. This is the one I've chosen. So
that's how I feel about Star Trek.
Now, let me ask you a question, Gary. Then, how could they save it? How could they ever go back to a man?
The only way they could go back to a man, which I'm fine with, by the way, is they will have to do. I hate it. Excuse me for using this term because I don't like it, but a person of color. So they'll take it back to a person of color,
or a gay white man, maybe.
Which I mean,
no issue.
No issue. Not at all. Because it's how they play it on the screen, and the Doctor has never been. He's not supposed
He's
to.
Never been shown to be a sexual
creature. Yeah,
right.
Like he'll joke.
Yeah.
The best part was like when Matt Smith was being flirted with, and he acted like kind of a foppish little boy who was like, oh, like that. That's how the Doctor is. The Doctor is. I mean, it's a grandpa in a young body.
TARDIS when the TARDIS was in that girl's body.
Yep, that's the real relationship. I know a lot of people didn't like that episode. I
like that episode.
I love that episode. That's Neil Gaiman.
And it's funny. I think a lot of people that I know of, at least, that like the show, thought it jumped the shark when Clara started getting involved. And we even saw like seeds of the possibility of Time Lords gender swapping back then. So I wonder if they had all this in mind way back.
It was in The Doctor's Wife. That's when they made it canon. The Mighty Corsair. They mentioned that the Mighty Corsair, before he met his untimely end, swapped genders, but he was also looked at as a bit of he was debaucherous. He was a bit of a party animal. So it wasn't normal. I'm not saying it's abnormal. I'm just saying it doesn't work. Just because it's in canon, you know what? You can make, and I've said this before, but you can turn Spider-Man into a girl and make a canon in the Marvel Universe.
Right.
It's the same thing. It just doesn't work. If you're going to make your main character a female, you have to start addressing female issues, and it's not just perspective, it's issues, and they're not going to do that. And especially when there's just another bloke writing it, he's just terrible. Again, it could have worked with good writing. Anything can work with a good creative behind it, a good vision, a good original idea. People will buy into it no matter what. But they couldn't do that. So it's easy to go woke. It's easy to do that because it makes it critic proof and you're guaranteed to get good reviews out of that. So you can't really blame them for taking that approach. I just don't like it. And we need to discourage them. And the fans need to speak up.
Now, the critic percentage is at a low rate too. Isn't that like at 50 something? I think I saw Chris
for the last episode.
Episode. Okay.
For the most woke episode, that was entirely a climate change message, to where at the end, the Doctor breaks the fourth wall and lectures the audience.
Are you kidding me?
The worst, cringiest speech ever. And she basically says, be better, be better. And
she's so brave.
She's stunning.
Preachy.
Stunning brave.
And the critics even hated it. So,
my God.
Yeah.
They're not learning fast enough. Yeah, well, that's the problem, Bear. They're always behind. Like, I think, Gary, you have said it before on your stuff. They're always behind the trend. And I think they're gonna be behind the trend of woke is over. Like, just give us a good story. And they're falling behind. I think some people are starting to get it, but others will keep this woke thing going for a while, and they're gonna destroy things you love, things I love. I mean, I'm scared for, even though George Martin is involved in it, and I'm still pissed off at George for not giving me a fucking book yet. But don't get me started on that. But I want to see what they're doing with House of Dragon. I'm kind of excited to see where my lore, what they're going to do to the lore that I already know. How are they going to try to change it, even with George being a part of it?
But you got Fire and Blood, Sporking, Volume 1.
You got I do. I have it right in the other room.
I hate that book, by the way. I think it's a book.
You know how you guys are waiting for that last book to come out?
Well, two books.
That happened to me with Robert Jordan.
Yeah.
And
that's my biggest fear.
And what is it? Sanderson had to take it over. He was handpicked by the family.
Well, here's the deal with George R. Martin.
Yeah.
Nobody can finish the book if he kicks.
Exactly.
Right. That man is secretive, big time.
Yeah, and he writes on some old ass computer.
Yes, it's like a dot matrix type computer, man. It's I don't know if he wants this hard drive.
Commodore 64.
Commodore, yeah.
Close. It's close. It seriously
really is.
He literally has. There you go. It's a word processor. He literally has a house diagonally, like across the street from his own house, and that is his workshop. So. And it's on this. He doesn't want to use anything. He's scared to put anything like that might get on the net, as he would say. But it is an old school, like, instead of even using a goddamn typewriter, at least there'll be paper. He uses this old computer ready to crash. I mean, this son of a bitch is scary looking, guys. If you've ever seen a picture of it, it really is. It's a process.
He's basically saving the floppies, right?
He probably is. I mean,
he's cutting them too, so you can't record over them. He cuts the corner in it.
I used floppies up until about 20 years ago.
20 years ago, Bear.
Yeah. I was using floppies 20 years ago, They were handy.
I don't know. I fear
you can put all kinds of kryptonite pictures on those things.
I just fear the end of some of the stuff we love, guys. The fear of, like, you know, Doctor Who for you, the Game of Thrones world, which is about, it is about misogyny, but it's also about the power of a woman, and it's about, you know, straight, but it's also about gay. I think I'm scared they're going to go woke with it. My fingers are crossed they're not, but we will see.
Well, the one they were doing was completely
super woke.
So woke that HBO rejected it. So,
wow. I mean, when
that
you're going to take,
something.
well, they were going to take Land the Clever. They're going to take a male character that is the patriarch, the creation of House Lannister, and they were going to maybe make him a female. I heard.
So in a feudalist society, by the way, 5,000 years prior to the events of Game of Thrones,
yes,
they were going to be progressive Bronze Age feudalism, and and that would be interesting. That shit doesn't work. You know, it barely worked in The Witcher. Okay, The Witcher worked for me because it made up for things, and it's a more magical world. But Game of Thrones is way more grounded. And what George R. R. Martin does well, and this I believe is 100% the cause of the delay, current year politics. George is on everybody's side, but the way he writes, there is drapes. I call it drape. There is drapes in his book.
Right.
And there is horrible things. Women are not perfect angels. No. They're actually very complicated, and they're jerk. Like Arya turned into this Mary Sue towards the end. Arya is a very complicated character and a tragic character. Right. Cersei, very, very complicated character.
Yes.
And she's bad. She's evil. Because you finally in the fourth book, you get into her head and you realize what an evil biatch she is.
Yeah.
I kind of like that notion that in a brutal medieval world where there's people like the Hound and the Mountain running around, women did have to use their sexuality, and they did have to use the cunning to climb anywhere.
Exactly.
They were property, man. They were property,
and it made them stronger. It made them more badass because they can't go out. They can't go out and fight a Hound unless you're, Brain.
You have to like shake your leg at a guy who could.
Yep. And
what was that episode where they were like the most brutal weapon you have is between your legs?
Yeah. Oh, that is Cersei. That's who he's talking about. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, if you read her in the books, they actually had to bring the whole I do everything for my kids into the show, because in the books you could tell she doesn't give a shit about them. No. She doesn't. I mean, Joffrey was the closest thing I think she really cared about. The rest, I don't think she really
monster. Does. She's all, he's my monster.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean,
no, her kids are just a means to power for her. In the books. So she wants them safe, and she loves them in her way, but they are so she can maintain control. But I wouldn't be surprised if she stayed in control, like something bad would happen to Tommen later on, so she could stay in control. She's that bad.
I mean, Lena Headey gave her. Well, he gave her more of. She gave Lena Headey, gave her a better. You felt for that character, but the truth is, in the books, you do not feel for her. She is vicious.
Everybody's harder and uglier and younger in the books. So Jon Snow's like 17.
Right. Is he even that? And Arya's like 12
Arya's
or 13.
11.
Yeah, 11. There you go.
Yeah, and that's in the later books.
Yes.
And Sansa is, I think she's the oldest. I think she's 15 or 16.
Yep.
There was supposed to be a time jump, and that's what screwed it up. But I guarantee you, he was involved. See, there was a comics gate in sci-fi books called Sad Puppy, the Sad Puppy. Look it up.
Okay, I never heard of it.
Yes, right. It was basically the SJW invasion of science fiction books. Oh, and wow. George R. R. Martin was instrumental in this, but it was right around this time when, my book's delayed now. Jeez, it's going to be 10 years maybe till this whole era ends. And I think that has a lot to do with it. He talked about rewriting the book, and I think George, he'll come out with a book. And people will pick it apart. It's racist. It's this. It's that. It's homophobic. And because listen, you can't kill a gay character right now. You can't show women with complexity. Even though it's based on English history, and it does have Eastern people. There's not enough white people in it, or not enough black people in it. Yeah, it's that.
Right. And I was just about to say that.
Box.
Well, I mean, even in Dorne, they're more of like a Mediterranean.
Yeah.
So I mean, the black cultures are in Essos
Summer
and like,
Isles.
yeah, the Summer Isles are like, you know, the black skinned people, and it's a different world because there's many places you're never going to read about in the main story in a Song of Ice and Fire. You'll never go to these places.
Oh yeah,
So,
Westeros isn't even the most advanced.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just where we're planted, but we're not in the most advanced society. Essos is more advanced.
Yes. So. Yes. And I mean, we're not even the history is so far back. I mean, you got Empire of the Dawn. I mean, there's so much you could talk about. I keep telling Stephen he needs to get into it, even though it may never end. And he'll hate me for that because George will end up dying on us. But it changed my life. It changed my life just reading about it. And I studied it like it was a true history. It was that exciting to me. Let's just hope he doesn't. I've never heard that take before, Gary, that him waiting. That makes so much sense now to me. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he takes a long time, and I understand this, but we're going on a decade. There's no fucking way he's not done it. Plus, there was a bunch of chapters written. So he cut out a bunch of chapters for Dance of Dragons, and the Winds of Winter opens with two battles, which we've been waiting 2 books for. And two major cliffhangers. We've got Jaime Snow possibly dying and Jon Snow dying. 2 battles are just about to start, and we've been waiting 8 fucking years, and half the book is done. There's what, 10, 11, 12 chapters floating around out there, and
easily
the best chapter he's ever written isn't in a book yet, called The Forsaken, which is amazing.
What a great chapter.
I've read that thing a million times.
Oh, same here, man. Same here. What a great character. We did not get that character in the show.
The best bad guy of all freaking time, the Crow's Eye.
Amazing.
How does he do that? He introduces a bad guy, a big bad, like late in the book series, and he's amazing. You know,
he has taken. People think Joffrey was bad, or then you know, he just keeps raising the bar.
Well, first he had Joffrey. Right.
Yep.
And then he had Ramsay.
Ramsay's
still alive. Ramsay's still alive. And then he ones up. Well, he ones up it because he's like, how can we make this guy more evil? Oh, he diddled his brothers.
He diddled his brothers.
And he's a mystical pirate who has a demonic eye and a Valyrian steel armor.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see that. Which I believe Jon Snow will end up with, but that's another story. I don't know, man. I can talk about this for hours with you, but this has been good.
The show did not touch on the greatness of the books. As good as the show was early on, the books are so much better. There's 5,000 characters in A Song of Ice and Fire. That's about as many as there is in the Marvel universe, and they all have paths and they're fleshed out. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And then you have the Duncan Egg series. I mean, you got so much you can get involved with. It is truly a fandom that I don't think people really get yet. They only understand the show. But if you ever get into the series, like Stephen, I've been trying to get into, it changed my life. It really did. It brought me to this. You know,
if the wokeness goes away and the battle can be over, I mean, I'm going to review TV and then do Song of Ice and Fire lore till I retire.
Yes.
I think I'm okay with that.
I will totally do anything with that, man. I will. If you ever want help with that, let me know.
I'll just be one of those lore channels, and like once a month I'll have some 30-minute documentary on A Shy by the Shadow or something like that.
30-minute. It has to be like 4 hours. ASMR, you know the channels. You know the channels. I've been watching them for years now.
Yep.
But
can't be.
It's been about
someone else wants to say hello.
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 Say hello.
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 Say goodbye.
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 That was my 6-year-old.
Goodbye.
Nice.
He's the one that says goodbye on the end of my videos.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. You're ready to close it up, Scott?
Yeah, we've been going on for 2 hours, 20 minutes. I'd like to really thank you, Gary. Man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for coming on my channel, Stephen. Yeah.
I'm going on Stephen's channel.
We appreciate it, man.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Stephen's too toxic for me, though, so I can't go on his channel.
So toxic. He always wants girls' boobs or something. Oh, it's wonderful.
I like tits.
Yeah, he does.
Why?
All right, everybody.
Second girl from the left in the Forces female picture. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So let's end this with, I don't know. Thank you, Gary. Gary, you can find Gary at Nerdrotic. If you don't know where he is and you're watching my show, where have you been? Then we have Bear. Where can they find you, Bear?
At Bear Nerd Fun. Put that on the end of YouTube link and you'll find me.
All right. And Gary, do you have anything exciting to announce other than the Monday thing you got going on?
All my shows are regularly scheduled. I'll be on the road this weekend, but God, I wish I could blab about Monday. I so want to blab about Monday, but pay attention to Twitter.
Oh, we will.
All right. Nice. Steven?
Yeah, you can check me out at author Stephen Walton. I also have a Twitter at Lodonis. Check my Indiegogo for any updates if you are a backer. There has been a little bit of production delay with the Fandom Menace Volume 1, but we are taking steps to rectify that. And I will send you an unpolished version of the Fandom Menace Volume 1 second edition. If you are a backer, just email me your backer number so you can read it. But the first edition will have an extra chapter in it, solo a Star Wars agenda at the end of that one, just for you. And working on the Fandom Menace Volume 2 as we speak. And thank you very much, and I appreciate all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Hail.
And Immortal, you got anything to throw in?
Well, first of all, thank you for the chat and the audience. You guys are all very awesome individuals. Recently got a technology upgrade, so I'm hoping to start streaming at least on a weekly basis.
Nice.
I have this thing called Savage Spirituality, where I like to kind of look into the more like philosophical and metaphysical and even like some tinfoil hattery going on in
love that,
where they're trying to steer our minds. There's a reason I have the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull as my
I like that. I love that stuff.
Start hearing from me. I'm a big fan of the Exozone, by the way. So
awesome. Me too.
Keep that up, man.
Immortal, I'm sorry. Yeah. Are you gonna be good enough to start you in on the Wednesday rotation for the fourth wave?
Perhaps we should talk about that offline. I want to still kind of test my equipment and make sure I'm not showing everybody the porn that I watch and stuff like that.
Okay.
We don't want to watch that stuff. Okay, so
just a reminder, we do have the Fandom Menace Discord server. I started it, and I enlisted Drew to basically build it and set it up. He put all the work in, and that Discord invite is in our private chat.
Oh, and please check out Supreme Heretic, Drew's channel, on Thursdays. We are doing a review of Battlestar Galactica 2004. We're starting off with we did episode 1 last week. We're doing episode 2 this week, and we're going to go through the whole series.
That'll be me, Steven, and Drew, and Script Doctor. I believe the CjH will be on there too, maybe.
Nice.
But yeah, we have a lot of fun on that, talking about Battlestar Galactica.
All right. Nice. Well, and if you could do me a favor and after this, drop the live one and leave a comment if you want to start hearing. I've been thinking about making videos about ancient history lost, pre-Diluvian, pre-Ice Age. Let me know if you're into antediluvian, man. So
right.
I've been thinking about doing stuff like that a lot lately. I'm a huge Graham Hancock fan, so I want to get involved in that stuff. But thank you, everybody, for showing up to the chat. I really appreciate you guys coming for the first time I have had a live stream. January 23rd, I will be doing a live stream with some special guests. It's a birthday / sober day / whatever freaking sub number I'm at day. I'll let you know later the week who's going to be there, but thank you very much, everyone, for coming. And I'll end this how I always end mine. I end it with if they're calling you names, they've already lost the war. Steven?
And they do.
Hail the Fandom Menace.
Let's be awkward for a second, everybody. All right.
Hail to the Fandom